Our new McCafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more. Like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream. All swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
There's one game that kicks off summer, June 20th at Play Alberta Field at Commonwealth Stadium. The Elks home opener, Elks Alouettes, presented by James H. Brown, Alberta Injury Lawyers. Lock in your tickets now at goelks.com/tickets. Our city, our year.
For Buchanan. Lovely turn from Buchanan, and that takes a deflection. It's Jonathan.
Nissan dealer for more information.
Move home labor down rocket trails to build an off-grid cabin. But today, that powerful turbocharged engine just needs to bring home a new dollhouse.
Buchanan back for
Reliable power.
Buchanan back for Johnston. This one in towards Laren at the
$110 weekly for 60 months at 5.69% APR with $7,099 down. Hybrid available. Visit Jeff.ca.
There's Saliba. It drops down for Jonathan.
Your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions
There's Saliba.
because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
There's Saliba.
The Jason Gregor Show.
Forward for Buchanan. Lovely turn from Buchanan, and that takes a deflection. It's Jonathan.
On Sports 1440.
Buchanan back for Johnston. This one in towards Laren at the back post.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
There's Saliba. And it drops down for Jonathan.
Biggest stage. Fantasy football for Canada. They will finish in a position today.
Well, a positive Friday. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks as always for listening. Thanks for watching the show. It was quite the performance yesterday for Canada. Really a record-breaking performance for multiple Canadians. Jonathan David gets a hat trick. Canada gets her first ever win. Ties it for the biggest margin of victory for a host team at a World Cup, 6-0. Pretty impressive to say the least. Obviously, the Kone injury was the biggest negative in the game, but Canada is they're on to the second round. It's just a matter if they finish first or second. Okay, they're +6 in goal for differential. Qatar's -6 and Bosnia's -3. So the only way Canada doesn't make it is if they lose, and their loss, one of those other teams has to combine. If it's Bosnia, they would have to win. Canada loses by 2, then they're going to have to win by 8 It's not happening. Okay. Canada loses by 1. They got to win by 7. Like come on, they're through. I saw people say, oh, it's not guaranteed. Yes, it is. It is guaranteed. Okay. You run the simulations on it 100 times out of 100 times. They're in. It's just a matter of if they draw next Wednesday, they're automatically first in their pool. If they lose, then they'll be second. Win, obviously they're first. So congratulations. It was epic game for a lot of Canadian soccer fans. It was well worth it. You have the fact that now so far a draw and a win in their first 2 games. Now the next game is going to be tougher for sure. Every game moving forward now will be a little bit more difficult. But Canada dominated yesterday, as they should have. They were dominating. They're up 2-0. Then there's a red card. Now it's down to 9 runners and a goalie. Then there's another red card, and it's 8. Like for 25 minutes, you should run up the score. And I like that they did. This is the World Cup, man. You're here to win. You're not here to worry about feelings. You're here to win. That is just how it goes. So, and World Cup will continue on. USA is currently leading Australia 2-0 at the half. We got a loaded show for you. Oliver Platt will join us from One Soccer to talk about the atmosphere and just everything. And, everything about it was awesome. It was great. Craig Button will be by. We're talking NHL. We're talking NHL draft a week today, the NHL draft. Now, I know Oilers fans are like, well, whatever, because they don't have a first rounder. I get it. But I don't expect them to move into the first round. So next Friday night, probably quiet for the Edmonton Oilers. I don't expect them to move into the first round. But Saturday, second rounders and a few other picks. That second rounder, you got to make it count, baby, for sure. And, do they trade down a few spots to try to get a third rounder? We'll see. We got Low Tide. We got Spec. Marc-Olivier Bluet will join us, talk a little Alouettes in the 3 o'clock hour. We're going to hear from former Edmonton Eskimo, now Elks secondary coach, Aaron Grimes, will join us. The secondary is going to have to be on their toes because Montreal leads the league in passing yards. They have the top 2 receivers in receiving. It will be a good test for them. But good news for the green and gold in the fact that Tyrese Beverett, he's not going to play. That's a pretty big loss for Montreal. He is their best. I would argue he might be the best defensive player in the league. Like, this guy can play anywhere. Play linebacker, can play safety, can play halfback. He blitzes from all over the place. He's very good. He's an excellent communicator. Really kind of the quarterback of their defense. But he's banged up, and Cume's also gone. So, Montreal's still very good. Don't get me wrong. But they're a little bit weakened. And now you're the Elks. And if you want to go to the game, now remember, might rain. But we got a few family packs for you. Sets of 4. Now, hey, maybe your family's you and your kids. Maybe it's your teenagers. Maybe it's you and your buddies. But if you want to go, and you can go 100%. We don't like wasting tickets. There's nothing worse than giving tickets away, and you're like, well, it's raining, I'm not going. So that's fine, but then don't take them. I only want people who will go rain or shine. 4 tickets. Take the fam, take your friends, go on a date, double date, whatever you like. We'll give some of those away. We got two sets of 4 to give away today on the show. It's Positive Friday, baby. You can be there for the home opener. Elks could be 2-0. And tonight in the CFL, you have the depleted BC Lions receiving corps. I don't think I've ever seen that, Connor Halley. They got 4 injuries on their receiving corps. They're all out. It's wild as they take on Hamilton tonight. Then the triple header in the CFL tomorrow. Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, Edmonton, Saskatchewan, Calgary. Should be a fun weekend. I like it. So,
bold prediction for that Lions game, Gregor.
Yeah.
One of the receivers tonight forces their way into the starting lineup. Someone gets the opportunity and runs with it.
Oh, so you're saying they take advantage of the injury opportunity?
100%.
Okay.
100% someone's going to be out there. Because I think receivers, there's so many of them now. You can find them all over the place. So one of these guys finally gets the opportunity. He'll find a starting spot.
Okay. All right. Elks are an underdog at home. Fairly big underdog at home. I can understand why. But we'll see where they go from here. So should we at 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. You can text us today. We got a lot of football talk, both through the air and on the foot. Of course, we'll talk a little hockey. We got Cam Tate as well as some stats of the day for you to digest, which I think you will like, and it's gonna be a fun show. I'm looking forward to it. Hey, Greg's, what if the Elks win tomorrow? Does that make them a legit contender? Well, it's early on in the season. I've seen teams start 0-5 and win the championship. I've seen teams start 6-0 and lose and not be very good. So if they win tomorrow, I think you can look and say the Elks are no longer the bottom feeder in the CFL. Doesn't mean they're the top dog, but I don't think they'd be the bottom feeder anymore. That's how I would look at it. So we'll see. Hey, Greg's, is this really happening? Am I having a nightmare? Fans get used to 130-point McDavid. Now it's going to be 80-point McDavid and still losing from Rowdy Roddy. I don't see McDavid not being a guy in triple digits unless he misses time. His point total is not going to dip that much. I just I don't see it. I just don't see any coach who would be like, you know what? I don't want you to score. Right? Like I don't see that. They get on the power play, they're going to produce. 5-on-5, they're going to produce. If anything, it might be like, hey, we're going to try to limit goals against. Right? That's going to be the key. Now, I know, I've seen a lot of people, talking about, well, look at Mike Babcock. He's going to come in there and he's going to be great about it. I'm like, okay, we'll see. But and I know because every time you say, well, the numbers in Toronto weren't like out of this world unreal, right? They just weren't. So now, yes, some of his better players were younger. Valid point. But if you're such a great coach, then wouldn't your team be great defensive regardless of who's there? Right? So if you look at it, because I'll do the 3-year. I'm going to actually eliminate from the numbers the first year coaching in Toronto because that was the rookie year, and for when they led up to getting Matthews. Then the next year they added Matthews and they added Nylander and they added Hyman and they added Marner. Like they made a lot of significant changes, and obviously the team got better, no question. But how were they overall? Because everyone tells me that, you know what, hey, they're going to be great. So if you look at it, over that 3-year span, the Maple Leafs were 21st in shot for percentage, okay, at 5-on-5. They were 5th, however, in goals for percentage. So they gave up a lot of shots. They didn't give up a lot of goals. If you look at their expected goals, if you're a believer in that, they ranked 14th. And this is all at 5-on-5. So 5th where it matters most, goals. At the end of the day, I will take goals. If that to me is the ultimate one. We can look at expected goals. We can look at shots for, all those sorts of things. But at the end of the day, what wins you games? Goals. You don't win more games by limiting more shots if you still give up 4 goals. Hey, we only gave up 12 shots. How many goals? 4. We lost 4-3. Well, what's more important? 12 shots against or 4 goals against? I think we'd all agree. Goals at the end of the day. So over the course of a 3-year period, I think it's fair to say that they were able to outscore their problems. They gave up a fair amount of shots. They were kind of break even on expected, 50%. Not horrible, not bad, middle of the pack at 5-on-5. So I don't see the Oilers, and you have veteran players. They've got a lot of good pieces. I said 2 days after the season ended, when we thought Knobloch was coming back, I said, hey, he'll learn for some things. And away you go. And that's the one thing that I find maybe most interesting about the whole decision-making process was. Okay, so Chris Knobloch, at the end of the year, everyone's like, you know what? The organization clearly made it that they felt like they needed a coach who was a little bit harder. All right. So there was no chance that Chris Knobloch could change, right? That's essentially what the organization said. We couldn't have the conversation. Hey, Chris, we need you a little bit harder. But guess what? I had a conversation with Chris Knobloch. You know, one of the first things he said to me a few days after the season was, there's going to have to be some changes. We're going to have to be a little bit harder. Like, that's one element. You can learn. He's only coached for 3 years in the NHL. And the first 2, he went to the Stanley Cup Final. So the third year wasn't as good. But everyone's like, you know what? He can't change. We need a hard coach. Okay. So you're saying can't change. That's why you hired him. Now fast forward a few weeks. And everyone's saying, oh, yeah, well, come on, give him a chance. People change. What? Wait a sec. I thought you just told me the coach can't change. That's why you got rid of him. And that was more of like a technique. If you've had a personal trait of talking bad about, imagine telling one of your players they're fat and that their teammates don't like them. That's a direct quote from Chris Chelios to what Babcock said about Franson. So it's not a made-up story. Right? Fact. Okay? So you're going to say, yeah, but he changed. He's learned from it. It's an interesting one to say they can change and learn, but Chris Knobloch, no chance. He couldn't learn and evolve. Like every head coach, after 3 years, there's nothing else to learn. That's who they are as a head coach. They're never going to evolve. They're never going to grow. It just seems like an odd statement to me. So if you're for giving people the chance to change, but you didn't want to give Knobloch a chance to change, even though he helped your team go to 2 Stanley Cup Finals. It's done and done. I'm just saying, I notice it seems not necessarily a consistent message. Would that be fair, Connor Halley? It seems to be a little bit different.
Yeah. I mean, you can always twist things to kind of fit the narrative if you'd like to, for sure. I mean, and especially for Chris Knobloch, his first go-around as an NHL head coach, like there was going to be ebbs and flows. I think we know that it wasn't going to be perfect forever. No coach is. So you could have given him some time to figure things out. With Babcock, the resume is a little more, it's longer. There's more examples of this happening. I'm not saying he can't change. All things would indicate that he probably won't. But I mean, for me personally, Gregor, I'm just kind of at the point now, like I got the popcorn ready. I'm going to sit back and wait and see what happens with this thing, because at one time we looked at this guy as one of the best coaches in the NHL. It's been a long time. Maybe those tactics are still in there. But yeah, it's just so much to unpack for me. I'm at the point now where I'm sitting back. I can't wait for the press conference. Can't wait for the introduction to see how he handles it, how he speaks to everyone. Same for Stan Bowman. And then really going to be looking forward to how they look once they get on the ice, and how the bottom 6 looks. And all of a sudden, once again, the Oilers become a very polarizing team this year in the NHL, and I cannot wait for it. And it's not even July.
Yeah. Here's the thing where I come on. I honestly believe the GM right now will have a bigger say in the success of the Edmonton Oilers next season. Because let's look at it. Connor Murphy, Jason Dickinson, Kasperi Kapanen, an acceptable trade for Darnell Nurse, goaltending. That's all on the GM. Those are the decisions the GM needs to make. What are they doing? Are they going to be able to re-sign Dickinson and Murphy and Kapanen? And at what contracts? Right? Well, because any coach will tell you. I remember Ken Hitchcock saying, man, you're only as good as you are as a coach based on your players. You need good players. Now, you can help them in little tweaks here and there, sure, but at the end of the day, they're the ones making the on-ice decisions, the split-second decisions, and a lot of times, like, think about how many decisions a player has to make in the course of the game that are like split-second. Get the puck in your stick, analyze, boom, I got to move it, right? Or I got to carry it. And that happens over and over again. So you can help and coach, but at the end of the day, the players got to decide. I had a great conversation with David Beard today down at Play Alberta Field, the Commonwealth, about just, when you look at Montreal and you go through it and now they're not going to have their best player, does it alter what you do? And he's like, man, it's so much about film work. You have to know coming up. Okay, I come to line, look at the defense. There's 3 options they can play based on the sets they're running and everything we've studied for the whole week leading up. I come here. Now there's 3 options they can go. right? Sometimes there's 2 based on what they've ran in the past. You have to decipher all of that and then know it, call it out, and away you go. Coach can't help you in that moment. The coach has worked with you in the film work, but once the game is on, now it's up to you as the player to make those decisions, to make the right reads. And so ideally, if you have better players, you got a good chance to win. So the Oilers had pretty good players. That's why they went to the Stanley Cup Final 2 of the last 3 years. They're not suddenly void of talent. They got some holes to fill. And so that's why, honestly, for me, I think the GM right now and his decisions, how he's going to formulate this team, how he's going to provide a roster that he feels the coach can win with. To me, that's what has to happen. So what are you doing? I look like Murphy and Dickinson are super important. A good trade doesn't have to be a dominant, pull your pants down, win the trade. It has to be a good trade that doesn't set you back. Or if it's a trade where you're like, okay, it's just a salary dump, then we've got plan B and C to fill that salary properly. Because look at the Knicks. Jalen Brunson took a little bit less money. Then that got them Bridges. That got them Karl Anthony Towns, right? Sign Josh Hart. Extend OG Anunoby. So if you create space, then it's up to the GM to use it properly. I think that is the most important thing now for this. And I believe that since the end of the season. Coach can help for sure. And if you got a good group, little tweaks here, there can help. Right? No one thought when Chris Knobloch was hired they were going to Stanley Cup Final. Rookie head coach. Had no previous NHL coaching experience as a head coach, being an assistant coach for a few years. Right? And look what happened. He came in, little message change. It worked. But they also had good players. So now, get good players, Stan Bowman. That's your job. That's what you need to do. Take a quick break. We'll return. Hey, we'll talk about players. We'll talk about coaching. You gain more experience. How has our next guest changed and evolved from year 1 to year 2 in coaching? We'll find out next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Listen up, friends. Operation Pizza is a go at Papa John's. They're introducing new personal pizzas just in time to celebrate the premiere of Toy Story 5. These adventure-sized pies come in new, exciting flavors like Sheriff's Roundup, Space Ranger-oni, and Reach for the Pie. Or take your personal pizza to infinity and beyond by creating your own flavor just for you. Order 2 or more with Papa Pairings and get yours for only $9.99 each. New personal pizzas are ready for takeoff. See Disney and Pixar's Toy Story 5 in theaters June 19th.
Summit Restaurant. Located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common, Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Cheers. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
Cheering on Canada, Mexico, Australia, France, England, Brazil, Germany, Spain, and the rest of the world at the Druid Irish Pub.
Your World Cup headquarters.
Wear your colors, cheer on your team, and enjoy $6.50 Heineken every game.
Plus, your chance to win a ton of World Cup merch,
including hoodies, jerseys, soccer balls, and more.
The Druid Irish Pub, your World Cup headquarters.
Bringing Edmonton together, one soccer game at a time.
The Druid Irish Pub.
Cheer with us in the Mercer Building across from Rogers Place and Ice District.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit FountainTire.com today.
That's right. You don't have to wait because Black Friday is back at the Brick. For 4 days only, you can shop incredible deals throughout the store. Get 60% off sofas when you buy the matching Love Seater chair. Save 25% off bedroom and dining furniture. And get up to 40% off select mattresses. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. Hurry in. These Black Friday deals end Monday. Shop in store or online at thebrick.com. The Brick, saving you more.
Shaw Concrete products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, Jersey barriers and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned, over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Mortgages to Go. Need cash and have equity in your home? Mortgages to Go has you covered. When the bank says no, they say yes, and they've been doing it in Alberta for over 23 years. Call 1-888-888-5998 or visit mortgagestogo.ca.
He's not just another pair of glasses. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for checking out Edmonton Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, where we got some CFL as well as a little MLB special picks for you for the Elks and a quadfecta, if we want to call it that. I know the trifecta is a quadfecta. We'll just call it a quadfecta. It'll play on all four CFL games, so it's coming up at PlayAlberta.ca. And tonight, one game in the CFL, and then tomorrow, a triple header, including the Elks in the afternoon. As we get to our Double E report, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change, no overtime charges. That's how you build a legacy. All of a sudden, furnace breaks down, AC conks out overnight on the weekend. Call them. They'll come in, fix it, no overtime. LegacyHeating.ca. As we are joined by former Grey Cup champion. He's now in his second year as a secondary coach for the Green and Gold. Aaron Grimes joins us. Aaron, welcome back to the show, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Gregor. How you doing?
I am doing excellent, man. I talked about it off the start for you, and obviously you'd coached before, but you coach at the CFL level, and I remember talking to you and JC, and it was just like, man, you know, like there's a lot you learn as a coach, kind of like a player. So Aaron Grimes in year number 2 as a coach, how are you different? How do you feel you're better prepared?
You know, I feel like, you know, the difference between year 1 to year 2 is being prepared for the unforeseen things, right? Like you go into a game and you've broken down your opponent and you understand what their tendencies are. But whenever you go into a game, every offense has something new the next time you play them, right? Just like we will have something new for an offense to see. But being prepared for those moments and having, you know, some in-game adjustments for when they do happen and the ability to survive those in-game, that's kind of been big. You know, for me, I feel like at least for the first couple of weeks of the season, you know, this year, it's one of those things where you don't know, you know, what you don't know as a young coach. And there's still a lot of things I don't know, but certainly feel a lot more prepared. And it helps when, you know, all 6 guys playing were starters together last year, that certainly makes things a lot easier.
Exactly. You played that position, and continuity helps. You got everybody. Nobody's a rookie, so they've seen most formations, right? Or at least a semblance of that formation to kind of have an idea. Okay, well, in this area, this is what they're going to want to do. And Montreal is very much a pass-happy team. They've had 80 pass attempts, only 19 rush attempts with a running back. Quarterback sneaks I'm excluding from the conversation. And they got the 2 leading receivers, Aaron. So when you break down the film, and like everybody has tendencies as an offense, are there certain patterns that they like to run and they're kind of like their go-to throws?
Yeah, absolutely. I think every offense is that way. Obviously they have their go-to receivers. We all know, they have 2 very, very good receivers and a hell of a quarterback. And they're a well-coached team. But every offense you go against has certain things they like in a field zone, let's say, so a field zone, for anybody who's listening who may be wondering what the heck I'm talking about, when they get the ball and they're on their own 30-yard line up into the 50-yard line, maybe they do this certain concept, or this is their favorite personnel package. But once they cross midfield, now all of a sudden, this is what they like to do, and so that's kind of what I'm talking about. They have their tendencies, and then you go into the game and they have tendency breakers. There's something you haven't seen before. And then being able to make the adjustment off that. So, and Montreal is no different, right? Every coach, every human, offense or defense, special teams, everybody has their tendencies and their play style type. And that doesn't make Montreal any different from that. They're just firing on all cylinders right now.
How about you, Aaron? Where do you feel like what's the area that maybe you as a coach feel most comfortable and confident in?
What area of the field?
No, maybe just what area of calling or even just coaching up the players.
I really like, go figure. I like second and medium to long as a defensive back coach, right? Because most offenses are going to pass the ball in that situation with 3-down football. So I like to spend my time trying to figure out how we call it the money down. How can we go create takeaways, create, confusion? How can we make a play as a secondary when we know they're going to pass the ball, or we have a really good high percentage that this has to be a pass play, because if not, they're going to really risk it running the ball and getting on to 3rd down. So when we get to our money down situations, that's where I kind of like to, hey, here's how I think we should play them this week, based on, their drop back pass concepts, and so that's something that, again, year 1 to year 2 and having guys in the room, they kind of understand how I see things and I see how they see things. Because at the end of the day, they're the ones playing the game, and being able to form, my plan of attack based on how, the personnel in the room and what they're comfortable with as well.
Aaron Grimes joins us, secondary coach for the Green Gold. Aaron, you were definitely a guy who was very comfortable in cover. That was, I think, maybe your biggest strength. Other DBs are maybe bigger. They're way more physical. They like to jam guys. Everybody has a different way that you play. Now that you know more about your guys, does that, do you encourage a guy, do you kind of know, okay, what the strengths are, and this is some of the calls are based on their strengths individual?
Yeah, absolutely. Some guys, I wasn't a very good blitzer when I played, so now looking back on it, I didn't get a lot of pass blitzing calls, and that makes sense because I wasn't great at it. Keep a guy like me in coverage, like you said. But you start to understand who's going to be around the box more for rundowns, right? Who should we keep high in certain situations? Who should protect us versus double moves, things like that. You certainly get to learn your players. You learn what they're good at, but also you don't let it handcuff you, because the standard is the standard anyway. So if you're a cover guy and you haven't tackled well in the past, well, we're going to work on you with that, because tackling is a non-negotiable. Effort's a non-negotiable. So you're going to fit in to the culture and what JC is bringing as a defense and what we uphold as coaches. But we're also going to try to help put you in a position to make plays based on your strengths.
What do you feel like when you look at the receivers, and obviously Tyson Philpott and Tyler Snead, those are they've each been targeted 23 times through 2 games, right? They got 16 receptions for Philpott, 14 receptions for Tyler Snead. Is there something Philpott is better at than Snead and vice versa?
I don't know any of them personally, but just watching film, Philpott's really good, out wide. He's a double move guy, does pretty good with his double moves. He's very good with the ball in his hands, like in the screen game, so they give him a good amount of screen and goes. And then, of course, they have, I say screen and goes. They give him a lot of screens, but then they also have their screen and goes off of it. Snead is a little, he's a crafty guy. He's good in the box. He's good out of the box. And then you've heard it over and over again, right? Him and Davis are roommates. So them being on the same page all the time and Davis feeling comfortable trying to find him when he's got to have a first down is very apparent when you watch the film.
And for your secondary, your defense actually, it's not just, I know you're a secondary coach, but obviously you work with JC hand in hand and overseeing the defense. From week one, you had to be pretty happy. You created a lot of turnovers. And I know that, Terrell Ford was joking about it. He's like, oh my God, like I got to catch that ball, right? Like there was a few drops. Well, as the secondary coach, like, what is it? They got to bring, I don't know. They got to bring fruit platters. They got to bring donuts. What's the penalty for drops in the secondary?
Oh, it's probably worse than having to bring something in. You get, I'm going to say the word shame, but I mean it in a respectful way. You get shamed, by the group for dropping it. And then we hold you accountable financially. So at the end of the year, we're going to have, a nice little meal as a defensive back room. And
okay.
The people who put the ball on the ground the most are the ones who end up funding most of the meal.
And who's the judge to decide what's like a bad drop, an unlucky drop? Are you the judge, jury, and executioner on that, or is it a team vote?
It's a defensive back thing. So they are the jury.
Okay.
The judges. We just hold whatever standard or accountability they want to come up with for themselves. We've let them do that, and we list and we say, okay, how much do you guys want to charge each other for dropped interceptions? Whatever you guys come up with is fine, because obviously I can't take the money from you. But once you say yes, all of us are okay with this number, then this is the number. So I don't care if you're wide open. I don't care if it hit both hands. If it hits a hand and it hits the ground, that's a dropped interception, because opportunities, they don't come very often for a DB. So we got to make them count.
Yeah. Now, when it's raining, do you get an exception to that, or no? Rain or shine, you got to hold on.
Absolutely no excuses for missed opportunities.
Aaron Grimes, when you break down the film from week one, Aaron, what impressed you most about your defensive unit?
I think that our ability to fly to the football, and honestly, we play a physical game. So when you're looking at a defense and they put their body on the line to make a play, like some of the most impressive things that kind of go unseen are third down stops. When you got to be a yard off the ball and it's 3rd and 1, it's like a 90% success rate for an offense. So when you line up and you take and you become part of the whatever 7% of stops, like that's a team who's willing to sell out and make the play. The other one is, when you take the field a couple of times with just a couple minutes left, that means your back wasn't against the wall, but you took the field knowing that we need a stop to win this football game. And I felt like the players, all 12 people that took the field, felt like, let's go make a play to win this football game, instead of, oh boy, I hope we don't mess this up. And that was very fun to see. There was a lot of growth, I felt like, right there.
Yeah. When you look at Davis Alexander as a quarterback, and I talked to Malik Carney today about when you have a quarterback, is one of his best assets is kind of making something out of nothing on broken plays. He's been very good in his career. Now, Malik kind of joked and goes, I know everybody's saying he's never lost. Pretty sure I beat him in the Grey Cup. So obviously he is beatable, but in the regular season, he's yet to be beat. But as a DB, when it comes to broken plays, Malik told me it's very important to be disciplined as a D lineman. You got to stay in your lane. What about a secondary? When it gets to a broken play, what do you need to see from your secondary guys?
We call it plaster rules. So, the initial play breaks down, and a quarterback like Davis, who's very mobile, hamstring or not, to get the guys rolling, you have to plaster. So you find if it's zone, you find the nearest receiver to you, and now you are in the second phase of this play, and that is you follow him wherever he goes, especially with the quarterback like Davis, who's got an absolute cannon for an arm as well. He's not scrambling just to check the ball down. He will get out the pocket, and he'll throw that football 60 yards down the field. And so for us, it was very big all week to make sure we don't let our guard down, it's easy for a defense in practice to say, oh, well, the quarterback would have got sacked right there. We just can't hit quarterbacks in practice. Well, you go play a Davis Alexander, it's not guaranteed he does get sacked, right? The D-line is going to get there. They're going to create pressure. Now let's do our job and just make sure he has nobody to throw the ball to once he escapes that pocket and give the D-line an extra second.
Okay. What about on Aaron? I know that, special teams, you're not the special teams coordinator, but as a second guy, do you work at all into those meetings? How does the special teams work with you?
Yeah, I sit in the back of the meeting. I sit in the entire meeting because all DBs play special teams. You're not going to make this roster if you can't provide more than just some defensive back play. And I respect that. I love that. So I sit in the back of the meeting just so I can kind of know, whose role is what. And then I help out with some scout team stuff just a little bit during practice. So I don't have a huge role with special teams, but I am aware of what's going on.
How does a skill set for a secondary guy on special teams help them on regular snaps on defense?
How does it help them on defense to play?
Is there content are there things you see on special teams that can help them be a better defensive player?
Absolutely. Like when you look at a guy like Lenny Johnson, he's a defensive back and he's a key piece of our special teams. His ability to make tackles in open space is huge because you got to be able to in open space as a DB on a 65-yard wide field. Your ability to defeat blocks on special teams is an absolute bar fight for 40 yards down the field. So guys who are scrappy and aggressive and can put their pads on people is huge for us defensively. We're a speed and violence kind of defense, that's what special teams is speed and violence, right? So you pair that with some fundamentals and some football IQ, and you got yourself a pretty good defensive player, in my opinion.
I talked to Coach Killam earlier today, and he was kind of laughing. He didn't have a hat on in the monsoon in Ottawa last week or 2 weeks ago. And, it's supposed to maybe be a little rainy. It might rain tomorrow's game. So he's more prepared with a hat. You're at home, Aaron. How more prepared are you? What did you learn as far as attire for a coach if it rains on Saturday for you to be more prepared?
If I'm being honest, I don't know when it rains that much. There's not much you can do. Like I'm not gonna get one of those umbrella hats to go over my head. The difference is we're gonna be at home, so I guess at halftime I might have a couple more sweatshirts to switch out. But I mean, I was born and raised in Seattle, Washington. We played football in the rain growing up. I mean, so it feels a lot better when you're victorious at the end of the win.
Now, what about you got a big head of hair? Right? Does that help, or is it worse in the rain?
It's terrible. It makes it so much worse. You throw the hood on and you hope the hood stays on, but the hair usually pushes it off. And at some point, you're just like, you know what? I'm soaking wet. Like, let's get it. Like, we got to go call these plays. I can't think about it anymore.
Awesome. Well, Aaron, always good to catch up with you, and enjoy the game tomorrow, and see if you guys can remain undefeated. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Greg. I'll see you around.
You betcha. That is Aaron Grimes. Was a great DB player and is working his way into being a coach. Talk to the players. Really good communicator. I always like to ask, what do you respect? What do you like about your coach? And what they feel. Grimes played the position, but he's very good because lots of guys know the game, but some guys aren't as good about communicating what they know at a way that the players can understand it. That's really communicate as much. It's not so much what you know, it's how you can share what you know in a way that the people you're sharing it with can understand. That is probably the most important part of coaching, for sure, because you can have the best ideas, but everybody learns different too. Some people are more visual learners. Some people are audio. Maybe some people need both, and it can definitely help. Quick break. We'll return. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Listen up, friends. Operation Pizza is a go at Papa John's. They're introducing new personal pizzas just in time to celebrate the premiere of Toy Story 5. These adventure-sized pies come in new exciting flavors like Sheriff's Roundup, Space Rangeroni, and Reach for the Pie. Or take your personal pizza to infinity and beyond by creating your own flavor just for you. Order 2 or more with Papa Pairings and get yours for only $9.99 each. New personal pizzas are ready for takeoff. See Disney and Pixar's Toy Story 5 in theaters June 19th.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Hey, hon, I'm getting expressions and images to frame my hockey card collection in the man cave.
Perfect. I'll come with you and bring our wedding photos.
For sports memorabilia and family treasures, think Expressions and Images, your local custom framer since 91. You name it, we frame it.
The best way to experience Elks football is being there when it happens. From single game to flex packs, group tickets, and family packs. Your seats, your way. Ticket packs available now at goelks.com/tickets. Edmonton Elks. Our city, our year.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. Hire Good provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact, because our team is built on second chances, and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Gregor for a first-time discount. Hire Good. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Get ready, outdoor enthusiasts, for the Kalmar Gun Show. Head to the Kalmar Hockey Arena today from 3 till 8, tomorrow 10 till 6, Sunday 10 till 3 for the premier event to buy, sell, and trade the best in hunting and sporting gear. Visit huntmaniashows.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by the Druid Irish Pub, Edmonton's favorite soccer home. The Druid Irish Pub is back in the Ice District across from Rogers Place. Watch all the games at 650 Heineken only at the Druid Irish Pub.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
We roll through, speeding through hour number 1. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. If you like it there, give a thumbs up to Declan Kruger. He'll appreciate it. Not a great day this afternoon for the Toronto Blue Jays, as they had an afternoon game going on against the Chicago Cubs, and it's ugly, real ugly, for a variety of reasons. So the Jays are getting pummeled 12-2 in the bottom of the 7th. Gosman gave up 7 runs in the first 2 innings. That's tough. And man, this is not going to go over well, Cons. Brandon Little came in, pitched 1 inning, had 3 walks, 2 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 strikeout. Oof. Like, you bring the guy back up, you're coming into a position like it's, you're down 7-2. It's not a high pressure situation, and he just gets rocked again. Like, I just don't know if he's going to be able to pitch again in Toronto. Like, he just looks mentally tap out. I don't see how that's going to end with a positive for him. And the other big concern for the Blue Jays was Vladdy Guerrero took a big swing and missed it, and then left the game. So that's no word yet on how serious it is, but looks like he wrenched his back, strained his back, so not ideal for him in any way. So we'll see. What when you look, Cons, at like, can you remember a guy like struggling as much as little every time he comes up?
Jeez. No. I'm trying to, in terms of baseball, I remember, if to bring it back home and in terms of being brought up, I always kind of had high hopes for Anton Lander to show that he could play at the NHL level and get it done. It never really worked. He wasn't terrible, but I think he was, never going to meet the expectations we had from what we saw at the AHL level. For little, it's just not good, and I think I'm with you. I think a change of scenery might be best for everyone.
Yeah. Wow.
My God.
I can't see teams going after him. And now the Jays are just dropping fly balls. So, geez.
Sorry to interrupt you there.
It's a tough one. It is a tough one right now. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. A bar fight for 40 yards. What a great line from Bill. Yeah, that was from Aaron Grimes, breaking down special teams. It can be challenging for sure. It is. Man, if you've been on special teams and you watch special teams, I know lots of times people just watch the return man, and I get it. But you should watch the battles from guys downfield. It is wild, man. Like, you got to be relentless. You got to be fearless. You got to be strong. You got to be fast. Like, it is tough, really tough. And anybody who's played special teams knows it can be, some guys love it. Like, they feed off of it, man. You're just like frothing at the mouth. Let's go. And you go hard for like 25 seconds, and then you get to rest for a long time, and then you go again. It's crazy. So, hey, Gregor, what does Pittsburgh have that the Oilers would want for a nurse? Have any names been out there from Brad? Well, Wotherspoon's name has been out there, which to me is not remotely enough. He makes $1 million, so that's just a pure salary dump. But I'm not even sure Pittsburgh can't just take on $8.25 million. So, there would have to be some other pieces going. Edmonton's going to have to take someone. Like, I can't see them just dumping Nurse as a pure salary dump. And honestly, I don't think that would be great. You're going to have to do, do something here. If you're going to trade Darnell Nurse, I have no problem trading Darnell Nurse. I have a problem if the trade is just a giveaway. Because how are you replacing his minutes? With who? Darren Radish signed today in Toronto for 8 years, sign and trade. Tampa gets a fifth. Radish gets an 8-year deal at $8.5 million. And by the way, I've seen a lot of people, oh my God, he's making 8.5. Just remember that we do have to adjust everything. 2 years ago in 2024, salary cap was $83.5 million. It's not that long ago. And a $6.8 million defenseman, same percentage of cap was an $8.5 million defenseman has now. All right. So I'm just saying, we're going to have to adjust when we see certain numbers. It's like, what? This guy got what? Well, because the salary cap was flat for a long time. It didn't really go up. So, like, really for a 5-6 year period, it went up minimal. And now it's jumping up massive. Like in 2025, at the end of the 25 season, the salary cap that year was $88 million. Now, so this is 26, 27. 27, the salary cap is going to be $104. Right, that's $16 million difference just in 2 years. And then in 2027, it's going to be $113 million. So it is, it's a significant difference. And part of that, and when a lot of your top guys are paid, there's going to be more money, and other guys they're going to get more money now. That's just how it's going to be. So we kind of have to, I think, readjust our thinking on how you view guys if you only view them on salary, right? Salary is one element. You obviously need more to it, but salary is one of it for sure. Let's get to our stats of the day, brought to you by All Star Construction. Started in 2009, and they continue to grow and expand, becoming the leader in development gas power and gas insulation, and they're hiring. So if you want to work for a company that's on the up, baby, it's expanding, growing, more opportunities for you. And hey, you know what? They're looking for entry-level workers and guys with experience. Go to All Star Construction. Some stats yesterday. Canada wins 6-0 over Qatar. So it was historic. Largest margin of, how about this? Largest margin of victory by any CONCACAF nation, not just Canada, any CONCACAF nation at the Men's World Cup. Jonathan David became the first player from CONCACAF to score a hat trick in the World Cup since 1930. There was also, the first ever win for Canada, 6-0. Obviously, the first shutout victory as well. They had 8 shots on goal in the first half, tying a 32-year-old tournament record set by Romania against Argentina back in 1994. Nobody had 8 shots on goal and a half since. Like, it was, and remember, there was Canada was up 2-0 early in that match. They were all over them, man. It was really a sight to behold when you think of kind of how many records were set in that one. And, Jonathan David gets his first hat trick in a World Cup. Obviously, Canada's had hat tricks before, just not at the World Cup. And, the only negative, unfortunately, was that Kone leaves broken tibia, broken fibia, and he is out for 4 to 5 months, unfortunately for him. And Canada, that's just what they'll have to do. MLB, the Jays, don't look now. 16-2. And Chicago has scored runs in only 3 innings. 7 in the first inning, 4 in the 6th, and 5 in the 7th. They got 16 runs on 17 hits. Ouch. And if you look at it, the only Cubbies so far, Shaw doesn't have a hit, but he got walked a few times. The pinch hitter Confanto doesn't have a hit, but Kelly already has 6 RBIs, the back catcher, for the Cubbies today, which is setting a career high for him. That is some ugly numbers. Switching to the CFL, triple header on Saturday. Edmonton's in the middle of that, starting at 2:00 for kickoff, and then they'll end. It starts with Toronto and Ottawa, then it ends with Saskatchewan and Calgary. As we head into the third week of the season, there's only 3 teams that are undefeated: Saskatchewan, Edmonton, and Montreal. So at most there could be 2, because Edmonton and Montreal are both playing one another. Now, I guess they could get a tie, so they're undefeated, but that doesn't mean that they would be a perfect record. Saskatchewan takes on Calgary. Now this is an if, Edmonton beats Montreal, Calgary beats Saskatchewan, the green and gold would be in first place in the league, which has not happened in a long time. Heck, they haven't started 2-0 since 2019. And we'll see. Tonight, BC takes on Hamilton. 4 of the Lions' starting receivers are out with injury. I honestly cannot remember that ever happening before for one team to have that many injuries in one game. There's our also we should mention today as well the men's U.S. Open ongoing at Shinnecook, and Wyndham Clark 4-stroke lead over Fitzpatrick. Schauffele, Sam Stevens is still on the course through 13. He is 3 under Rory McIlroy, 3 under through 8, and Max Grayson, man, is at 3 under through 7. Corey Connors had a tough back 9 today. He finished the round at +2, so he is +1, which has him in a tie for 25th, but not really in contention. And Scotty Scheffler is not, well, I shouldn't say it. I guess there's always a chance, but does not look like Scotty Too Hottie is going to find his way in the winner's circle. He is a little ways off, but hey, I guess it's Scotty Scheffler. He could get hot for 2 days and make a massive comeback. He is only +1, so he's 8 strokes off the lead, and he's still on the course. But he would need a really good final. What is that? 11 holes to get closer. Wyndham Clark, though, a 4-stroke lead. He had a 4-stroke lead after round 1. He's got currently a 4-stroke lead with some guys still on the course if you're a big U.S. Open fan. Xander Schauffele, Cons. It's the only guy that I picked. What do we get? 3 picks, and I had Schauffele. So he's the only guy that even has a sniff for me. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get some hockey talk, and we're going to play, and we're going to allow you to play too. GM. Trades. Any team. Because I got a few. We had this topic earlier. Kind of like, there's matchmaker. What about trade maker? Legitimate ones. Don't come in here with, I'm going to give up my 4th line center and we're going to get a 1st line center. No. If you got some legit ones, let us know on a Positive Friday. We'll discuss it. It's Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. As we get to the Con Man Sports 1440 update, brought to you by Go Auto. Looking for vehicles this weekend? It's rainy. You want to go shopping? They got 73 locations, over 15,000 vehicles for you to choose from. Did you know? On rainy days, get some of the best deals. Stop in goauto.ca.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
World Cup rolling on. U.S. leading Australia 2-0 with the 4th minute of extra time currently. Later today, Morocco and Scotland, Brazil, Haiti, and Turkey taking on Paraguay. In the majors, not a great day for the Blue Jays. They trail the Cubbies 16-2 in the top of the 8th. Later on tonight, you got Tigers, White Sox, Reds taking on the Yankees, Rays, Nationals, Padres up against the Rangers, Royals host the Cards, Angels in Sacramento taking on the Athletics, and the Mariners hosting the Boston Red Sox. CFL Week 3 kicking off tonight, Hamilton and BC. That starts at 5:30. The Elks have their home opener tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock with the Montreal Alouettes in town. Right now, the U.S. Open, Wyndham Clark leading the way, 7 under par. Matt Fitzpatrick, Xander Schauffele, Sam Stevens, Sam Burns, and Rory McIlroy, Max Grayson as well, all 3 under par. As for Canadians, Corey Connors will be the only one partaking in the weekend. Sudarshan Yilmaraju, Nick Taylor, Ben Silverman, all going to miss. And from the NFL, Jeffrey Simmons agreeing to a 2-year contract extension with the Titans worth $105.8 million, making him the highest paid defensive tackle in NFL history. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by our co-host, Juan Yegretz of Oilers Nation. We'll talk some soccer with Oliver Platt of One Soccer and hear about the Montreal Alouettes with Olivier Briette as the team's analyst. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
Diamond Rides is one of Alberta's premier specialty charter companies. With our luxury motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation services. Our seatbelt equipped, top-of-the-line motor coaches have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel needs across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Listen up, friends. Operation Pizza is a go at Papa John's. They're introducing new pizzas just in time to celebrate the premiere of Toy Story 5. These adventure-sized pies come in new exciting flavors like Sheriff's Roundup.
It's a different Friday. How you doing?
Or taste
Jason Gregor,
personal
Connor Halley,
pizza to
Sports
infinity
1440,
and beyond
Sports
by creating your own
1440.
flavor just for you. Order 2 or more with Papa Pairings and get yours for only $9.99 each. With new personal pizzas are ready for takeoff. See Disney and Pixar
through hour number 1, Jason.
in theaters June 19th.
Mr. Rooter buries
15,000
in the desert.
Where do you choose from?
I didn't mean to do it. I was forced into it. Yeah, forced. But now, no one will ever know. You've done well, Mr. Rooter. You did something awful, but you've covered your tracks. It's done. The last transcript that shows I did a semester of Christian school.
Uncover evidence of the proudest plumber, Mr. Rooter.
You see it? Fusion Promo Marketing can make it. Fusion makes high-quality, memorable promotional products for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. From vision to reality, get noticed and remembered. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
Are you a skilled laborer? All-Star Construction wants to talk to you. A heavy equipment operator with track hoe or backhoe experience? All-Star Construction wants to talk to you, too. With work in and around Edmonton for local land developers, All-Star Construction offers year-round employment. Whether it's power, gas, or telecom, developers rely on All-Star Construction to get the job done. So if you're a skilled laborer or a heavy equipment operator with track hoe or backhoe experience searching for work, search All-Star Construction on Indeed.
I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. The goal of every one of the thousands of hair restoration procedures I've performed is a full, natural-looking head of hair. I work directly with my patients for the consultation, the procedure, and the follow-up, so we can achieve the best results possible. When people see what we accomplish, I don't want them to think, "Wow, great hair transplant." I want them to think,
"Wow, great hair."
Go to drvanceelliott.com and contact us today.
The Lawnmower Hospital. If you've got a lot of grass to cut, or just a little, the Lawnmower Hospital in Toro make it a breeze. Handle your yard with an easy maneuvering personal pace Toro walk-behind mower. For commercial and acreage use, hop on a Toro My Ride Zero Turn with the comfort and performance you deserve. Plus, 0% financing available for up to 36 months. See Toro, the top name in turf, now at lawnmowerhosp.com. The Lawnmower Hospital.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Can Torque. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantorque.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.306. Welcome back, Boss of Friday. I don't know why, but I always kind of like it when you see the position players come into pitch. Because you know the game's out of hand, and it's just kind of like, okay, here he's fun. He's just throwing some soft toss, not going to hurt his arm or anything. But Cons, how many pitches how many innings has Miles Straw? Is this his third appearance this year? Because I know the Jays have got waxed a few times this year. This might be his third appearance. Can you check that out for me for Miles Straw and which other guys have pitched for the Jays position players this year? I'm just kind of curious about that as we return to the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province at PlayAlberta.ca. And I know a lot of people wonder, like, well, why do you go to those guys? Because you don't want to burn out your arms of your bullpen. You're losing 16-2. It's game over. You can't forfeit. This is like the way to say, well, we're forfeiting without actually forfeiting. We're bringing in our position guys. And, and sometimes guys have a little fun with it. Anytime, if you're the team winning and your batter gets 2 strikes, guys in the dugout now are juicing like, oh my God. And if you get a position player striking you out, both teams laugh about it. Because you got to find humor in it at some point, right? Like it's good to chirp. Like you're up 16-2. You can chirp your buddies if you strike out against Miles Straw. What do you do, Mel? You couldn't keep up to his 56-mile-an-hour curveball. What's going on here? But it is funny though when you watch the position guys pitch and how slow it looks, but then they're still, it comes up on the radar, like it's still 70 miles an hour in some cases. It just looks like it's nothing because these other guys are throwing gas all the time. High 90s, hundreds, there's lots of people now. It's like, oh, this guy only throws 93. You're like, what? Only throws 93. And Miles Straw, killing it, Connor. Killing it. Didn't give up any runs in that inning. It's a big win. It's a big win for Miles Straw. So versatility at its finest.
Should have gone to him quicker.
Gosh. Well, honestly.
What's the wait?
Right now they do better than Brendan Little. And that's, I almost feel sorry for the guy at this point because he just can't do anything. As we welcome in Wanye Gretz to the show, who last week was like, I don't really know much about the World Cup. Suddenly tells me after last game, you're just like, oh, now I'm invested. Like, what happened to your Canada tattoo?
Well, the Canada tattoo came off with a cheese grater. I am Canadian, it used to say. Remember, and that was hot? Everyone had those I am Canadian tattoos.
Did a lot of people have
Oh,
them?
yeah.
What?
For sure.
How many, let's be honest, listeners, did any of you have an I am Canadian or still have an I am Canadian tattoo?
I know 2 people that have I am Canadian tattoos like it said on the case of beer back in the day. Same font, the flag. Remember those ads?
Well, I remember the ad. I remember the guy.
They were hot.
It stood up there, right? He has this whole speech. We loved it.
Yeah.
It was great, right? I took the words from that at my sister's wedding when I was the MC and kind of changed it all about that. Introduced myself that way. It was funny. But
you almost had the tattoo. You were this close.
No. But honestly, I've never seen anyone with the I am Canadian tattoo from that era. So please, any of our listeners, let me know. And hey, we accept pictures to show the proof. How many of you, because I don't discount that some people had it, but I don't think it was that popular. I'm just going to go on a limb and say I don't think it was that popular.
It could be that I just know a subset of people.
Like this is normal human behavior, is something that happens in our inner circle. We think, well, that's the norm, right? I got 4 friends who are divorced. You're like, everybody's divorced, right? I got 5 friends and they all got boys. Well, most kids have boys. No. It's so the text line is a negative.
Really?
On the
I can
Canadian,
I can
like we're
name...
getting a lot of people sending tattoos of like Canadian flags. Sure.
That's adjacent. There's one here I'm looking up. It doesn't seem to be as common as I thought. There are people who actually have Molson bottles tattooed on them. That's gangster.
Is it though?
Well,
is it gangster or is it bad decision?
It's not the best decision. Maybe, you know what? I know weirdos. I'll be the first to admit it.
Dude, I love talking to people who have tattoo regret.
Oh, yeah.
Because I have virgin skin. I have no tattoos.
Me either.
I would never, at this stage of my life, it's like I could only think of one reason maybe, and I don't even want to think of the reason. So I never say it into existence, but people could probably guess what it'd be. And that'd be the only thing I could think of. Because like when my father died, I thought about it. And then I was like, my dad being like, you idiot, why are you doing this? You're not a tattoo guy. Because some people are tattoo guys, which is fine. I'm not a tattoo guy. But
I wouldn't be opposed to a Stanley Cup tattoo for the Oilers. I would never regret that. If I got like the cup and then the year.
Yeah, but where because there like wasn't there a guy? Well, I remember, didn't the Bear Connor Halley? Didn't they have like the guy had to get the Stanley Cup tattooed on his back, like big?
Yeah, the really tough contest. I think he listens to the station actually.
Wow.
He's texted in before.
Yeah, he's got the tattoo. Like I wonder, does it still look good?
Yeah.
Like, because like I know some tattoos they age poorly because of where they're located.
Or the intricacy too. I think the detail fades over time.
Right. Like Livingston's got a fair amount of his tattoos actually look pretty good. Like I'm not a tattoo guy, but I'm like, oh, like that thing's how long you had that for 20 years? I'm like, oh, it's aged pretty well. So I think it's definitely a choice of where you put the tattoo.
I couldn't see myself being like, oh, I regret that Oilers Stanley Cup tattoo that represents the greatest thing to happen in my lifetime, including the birth of my son. A cup win. You'd never regret tattooing.
This one. Hey, guys, I tell people about tattoos. You don't put a bumper sticker on a Lamborghini.
Respect.
Oh, hey, it's a compliment to the guy, right? The guy or the girl's like, oh, he thinks that my body's like a Lamborghini. So I can understand. Like, hey, I have no problem if people get tattoos, but I always love the story about the regretful tattoos. Like those ones, honestly, you get to a house party, you talk to people you don't know. So, hey, you got a tattoo? You ever have any tattoo regret? Dude, I'm telling you, it's led to some of the greatest stories. I just sit back because I don't have any, right? Like I got a lot of regrets, but none of them are tattoo regrets. So, but tattoo regrets, especially now for people, because tattoo removal is fairly common. And I know quite a few people that have had tattoo removals, and like a mopo. It is not an entertaining experience from the tattoo removal people. And I've always said, man, many years ago, like tattoo removal, great company to start.
Absolutely. It's
because
funny.
A lot of people are going to be like, oof, you know what? Especially the people who get the name of the person, like they're dating. I'm like, what? Married? Okay, I can get it. You feel in that moment that this is going to last forever. I'm showing you, like, I'm committed, right? For better, for poor, for richer in health, as long as we both shall live. I got Sally. And then suddenly Sally and Bob, they're done 2 years later. And suddenly you're left with not only maybe an emotional broken heart, but now you got a tattoo and you're like, ugh, the worst.
The tattoo industry being $10 billion and then the tattoo removal industry being $15 billion is pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
Do you guys know anyone who has a barbed wire tattoo, like the wire on the arm? Because I remember, like,
didn't Pamela Anderson have one?
I think
right.
Or was that just in the movie?
No, she did in real life for a while.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
you,
yeah.
Connor?
No, but I remember, like, being in junior high and people thinking it was really cool. Because I think of Pamela Anderson. What was her TV show? Not Baywatch.
Barbed Wire.
Barbed Wire.
That's the show, Barbed Wire.
But then you'd always see, like, wrestlers would have it too. So I thought it was cool as a kid. Never would go through with it. But that's another one I wonder, like, people might have still.
The tattoos I've wanted to get in my life, I've had appointments twice.
And you backed out?
I chickened out both times, and I'm so glad I didn't do it. Do you want to know what the first one was?
Oh, let me guess. Jordan Everly?
No.
Oh.
Almost. The Tiger Woods logo.
What?
I was like 17. All I did was...
And you golfed all the time.
All I did was play golf. Tiger was turning pro, had the logo come out, and I was like, you know what?
What was it? I don't even
The
remember.
TW. I thought it was so cool.
You're basically going to get a brand.
Yes.
Like you're a cow all of a sudden.
People were getting
I'm property of TW. Yeah. Actually, it should be like, bah.
That was cool. People were getting Nike swooshes tattooed at the time.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, this is going to be amazing. I'm so glad, given how history is
so
unfolded.
What made you back out?
I was just like, what if I think I honestly thought to myself, what if Tiger Woods did something terrible? And then it was like an embarrassment. I was like, that could never happen. Earl will keep an eye on him.
Yeah. All right. Nostradamus. What was the second one?
Superman logo. Like, can you imagine if I went through
really
life?
Wish you would have got these.
Every time I took
so awesome.
Every time I took my shirt off, I'd have to apologize to people. Like, okay, you're about to see grade 12's brightest idea. Sorry.
So, Connor, you don't have a tattoo, do you?
No, I don't.
Declan?
No.
Oh, we got 4 skin virgins in the room. All right. There we go.
That's hard to find in this day and age. 4 people don't have tattoos.
Yeah. Or well, they might. 4 who've never had a tattoo. So
Tiger Woods logo.
That is pretty bad. Pretty bad. But then there's other guys. The guys, my buddy became a tattoo artist when the first tattoos ever did was Canada flag. 8 years later, he covered up with a really awesome Sacred Heart and a snake. I also have a Grateful Dead tattoo that my parents told me when I was 18 I'd regret. I don't. I'm a huge Grateful Dead fan, tried and true from Northside Adam. See, now, if you know something, I can get it. And I can totally understand it. Like I've never once even thought about a tattoo. I did once. I dated a girl and she really wanted to get a tattoo. And I was kind of like, whatever. Like, and I knew that this was like, hey, you know what? This was not going to be my future wife. So I was not I wasn't worried about it. But she was like, can you come to the tattoo parlor with me? And I was like, all right. So it was on White Ave. We go in there and like, I'm in awe of people that can draw like that. Like I can't even draw a straight line with a ruler barely. Like drawing is not my thing. So I'm in the, like, and I'm just like, oh my God, like just these things here. And so she's in the chair for no joke, like a minute. And all of a sudden there's like tears. Oh my God, it really hurts. And the guy's like, I barely touched you. And so now looking back, could I have handled it differently? Yes, I could have. But like, she was just like kind of constant like that. And All right. And not the good sounding kind, like the crying sound. And you're just like, I'm just like, hey, you know what? I don't need to be here for this. I'm going to leave. So I left. I asked the guy, how long is it going to be? He's like, probably an hour and a half. So I went down to White House, had a few beers, and came back. And oh my God, she's like, I can't believe you left. And I was like, sorry, but I wasn't going to sit here for an hour and a half. Like, because I could tell even the tattoo guy was like, what? This is nothing. And like, this should not be painful.
What was the tattoo?
Oh, it was a cartoon character, Smurfette. Oof. And that was the other thing. I was kind of like I could get, like, when I was a kid, I was 22-ish, give or take, and she was a year younger than me. So it's not like, like, hey, I'm a 35-year-old guy or something, you know what I mean? Like, and she was way younger, and all of a sudden she just got into Smurfs. Like, we grew up at the same era. The Smurfs are something you watch as kids. I just never understood, like, why. And I didn't care enough to ask, but I did. I think I asked. I can't remember. But I was like, Smurfette? Like, you're 18. Why are you getting Smurfette?
If you don't care enough to ask what the tattoo means, it's not going to last, the relationship.
That's very true. But man, I remember the tattoo art. I'm sure tattoo artists must have some unbelievable stories, right? Like that would be like, and I'm sure, is there a book on, like, I would actually read a book if a tattoo artist is like, here's my stories. Cause you'll have some cool ones. Like, this is my favorite tattoo. And you probably have some pictures of good ones, but you must have just some absolute unbelievable. Every now and then we need a laugh. You would have some, like, what people ask. Like, I remember probably the funniest tattoo, and I'm not going to say her name, but two girls, they were friends. We got to know them quite well. They had matching tattoos on their derriere. I will give you 1,000 guesses, and you wouldn't get it.
Smurfette?
No. It was stickmen in the doggy position. What? Matching. Oh my God. So funny. Two girls. And I was just like, what? Oh yeah. They thought it was the greatest thing ever.
If it means something to you.
That was vintage mid-90s, I guess. Vintage mid-90s. So if I was ever going to get a tattoo though, I think I might want to get like one of those sleeve ones. I think the sleeve ones actually look all right. I've seen some that look okay.
Hartford Whalers.
Yeah, but you couldn't have a whole sleeve of the Whalers. Like, that would look stupid.
You could have the Captain Highliner guy come up.
Well, that's the Islanders.
Oh, yeah, you're right. No, not that guy. No, the Whalers guy. Isn't there a whaler?
No, there's just a whale.
Just the tail?
Yeah, it's just
there's
a whale
no
tail.
Alternate logo guy.
No.
There's no.
There's the little whale, but it's not.
Yeah.
There's no human guy to it. You're confusing the
underwater
Islanders.
scene. You could go to a real good tattoo artist and say, I want you to make me a sleeve of the Hartford Whalers with
that would never happen.
You don't love the Whalers that much? Brass Bonanza, all that?
Oh, I love it, but just not that much, right? No.
Do you love anything enough to get a tattoo that's fictional?
Clearly not, because I don't have one.
It's true.
No. Like Pucky the Whale, I think was his name. Right? And for the Hartford Whalers, little Pucky. So there you go.
Little Pucky.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. We have a lot of people now in with hey guys, I tried to convince my wife to name our boy Tiger. She vetoed that immediately. Smart lady.
At the time, it's a great idea.
No, it's not. Like, imagine, what's your son's name? Tiger. Pardon? Right? Like, there's some names that are like, oh, that's a unique name. I love it. Tiger? No. There's no chance that you'd be like, I'm liking that name.
I remember thinking, like, he just got the Tiger Slam. There's no better time to get this tattoo.
Oh, God, I wish you would have got that. That'd have been awesome. Like, that is a joke that would never get old for your friends. Like, ever. I'm sure there's people out there right now who know their buddies or girlfriends, friends, whatever, have a terrible tattoo. And it's like, oh man, it's anytime you get the chirps going, that just comes out because it's a no-brainer. It's going to be a home run hitter every time.
That's a question for the text line. What are the worst tattoos you've seen? Doesn't have to be your tattoo, but we've seen some doozies.
Yeah, it could be a few for sure.
Look at Pucky here. He's a real cute guy.
Yeah, the little whale.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick break. We'll return on Positive Friday on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. We'll talk a little, speaking of positive, baby, that maybe might have been the most positive a country's ever been in sports in the last decade. Here on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is serious about cooling. In fact, we offer multiple ways to cool your home. So you better call Legacy. Call Legacy. If you're looking for traditional air conditioning, we got you. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. Or ask us about a heat pump to help you heat and cool. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. Cool with AC or cool with a heat pump. Cool your home with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Saturday, June 20th is the day to be at Harley-Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail. Come live the legend because the HD semi-truck is rolling in, bringing you the exclusive chance to test ride the powerful new 2026 models. All you need is your riding gear and Class 6 license to ride. Be there to enter to win a 2026 Liberty Edition Heritage Classic, door prizes, and more. Don't miss the ultimate ride event of the summer. Locally owned and operated since 1980. Visit Harley-Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail or at hdedmonton.com.
Hi, I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. We've been tightening bolts and redefining our industry for 25 years. Yes, a quarter century, and we're just getting started. Check us out at cantork.com. Our tools age better than I do.
Everything is going to be okay. If you're feeling the weight of too much debt, you have options. I'm Dan McDicken, a licensed insolvency trustee with Faber. Becoming debt-free is possible, and a personal bankruptcy or a consumer proposal will get you there. Schedule your free Faber Focus session at faber.ca today. You'll learn how a consumer proposal will eliminate your debt by paying a percentage of the amount owed without interest. At Faber, we've got your back.
Are new McCafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more? Like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream. All swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
For Aselli hockey fans, your partner in power just skated onto the ice. EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365. UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking. Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service. Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project. Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact because our team is built on second chances and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Gregor for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Albertans love to debate the best way to enjoy summer sports.
No. Playing on the field is the best, man.
No way. Watching from the sidelines, way more relaxing.
You're both crazy. Checking out the game from the bro zone is where it's at.
But there's one thing every sports fan agrees on.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky.
Wherever you catch the action, load up on Alberta's best beef jerky.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky, because you can't have summer fun with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Emerald Equipment. Emerald Equipment is Edmonton's newest dealer for Yanmar compact equipment. Machines built tough for the jobs that don't quit. Get your new Yanmar compact track loaders with ASV Posi Track at Emerald Equipment.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
$326. Oddball sends us Ryan Kessler had a Superman tattoo with a K, and then he sends a picture, and I'm just like, Oddball, why do you have like a shirtless picture of Ryan Kessler? Are you a big Canucks fan? What's going on here? That is an odd looking one. So, guy was an odd dude, man. Odd dude. Not great. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Let's get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by Silent Ride Charter Company, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies, safely taking you or your group to your next destination. You got stags, you got weddings, you got a big corporate event, team events. They got you covered. Ride in style. SilentRides.ca. As we are joined by Oliver Platt from One Soccer. And Oliver, it was quite the performance yesterday by the Canadians. They got an early goal and they just kept going. And then Qatar gets the automatic red card when it's the last guy. Then they get another red card and a terrible tackle on Kone. And Canada destroys them 6-0 and setting many records in the process.
Yeah, Sunday I was watching it here in Toronto at one of the watch parties here, and the atmosphere in there was like a small stadium, so I can't imagine what it was like in BC Place in Vancouver. But just a remarkable match for a number of reasons, and a remarkable performance from the Canadians. And look, I always felt that Canada were superior to this Qatar team and shouldn't have too many problems putting them away, as much as Switzerland made a difficult job of it in that opening game. But to do it in that style, I think it was a performance that is going to do so much for them, just in terms of the momentum, the confidence, the way the country is feeling and responding to them now, and also in terms of this group, right? Because now they can, a draw, never mind a win, we'll get them through as group winners against Switzerland. So they're in a great spot, and a fantastic performance and a fantastic day.
So you look at, Canada, people were talking about it. I know, and I think it's fair that their offense of finish for sure wasn't very crisp in the opening game for a variety of reasons. Jonathan David was a little bit off. Coach even subbed him out earlier. I think it was fair to say that. And looking back, in some of the bigger moments here, Canada hasn't been able to finish, and they did. And they scored twice even before Qatar got into the red card problem. So I can't say it's just a red card. And then they made sure that they took advantage of it. But what did you see different maybe that led to Canada finally being able to break through offensively in that game?
Well, they seem to like BC Place because they put 6 past Honduras there last year as well. So that's been a good omen for them, and hopefully they can stay there in the knockout stage. I thought throughout they looked like they had too much pace, too much intensity for Qatar. I think that was, probably maybe a bit of a product of some of the bad challenges, and the cards that Qatar were picking up was less malice and more just not being able to keep up with some of the Canadian players. I thought they were able to get more players into kind of dangerous central areas and really overload those areas. Adrian Buchanan in particular was a lot narrower, kind of attacking the box rather than staying quite wide on the wing. Ali Ahmed made a difference on the left as well. So just that ability to kind of overwhelm Qatar with the numbers, with the pace of the attackers, and to create opportunities through that for Kyle Aaron and obviously in particular Jonathan David. And you have to say with David, like that's clinical as we've seen him look for some time. Those were not all easy chances to finish. But when he's at the top of his game, he has the ability to do that, and he showed it. So again, there's going to be more difficult tests to come here for sure. And this was the one where you looked at it and thought, this is the game to get the guys going, and particularly the attacking players. But they were really clinical in a way that you're right, we haven't seen for some time with some of these Canadian attackers.
Oliver Platt joins us. The Kone injury is obviously brutal. How give me your scouting report on Nathan Saliba, who likely came in, is going to be now, I think, a guy that's going to have to help out.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Saliba. I think he's really grown as a player in Belgium. I know people maybe haven't been seeing him week in, week out, but he's playing for a good team there, a big club. I think a move is in his future potentially to a higher level as well. And I think regardless of, whether it was an injury or just through the course of things, his time was going to come at this tournament. So it has come now, obviously, in a way that none of us would have wanted. But I think you can see, as an introductions coach, burying a free kick and holding up your teammate's jersey was a pretty good start for him there, and a signal of intent. Kone is difficult to replace. There's just no one in the Canadian team who is as confident and as calm getting on the ball in all situations. He always wants it. He always wants to be the instigator who makes things happen. Saliba, I don't think is that level of kind of technical creative player, but he is a great athlete. He is good on the ball. He's got a bit of a goal threat, as we saw in that game, but also I think getting in the box more often as well. So he's a different kind of midfielder, but a very talented one, and someone who I think is ready to play at this level. There's just no question that, you do miss Kone. There's no getting around that, and it's not to knock anyone else, whether it's Saliba or Chouanier, and acknowledging that Kone is going to be a big loss in the tougher games to come here.
So now you move ahead for Canada. And I guess, well, one last one. You look at Jonathan David, and a lot of people felt like, hey, this was the guy. Him and Kyle Larin, they've combined for 5 goals in the tournament so far. Larin scoring in both games. And, just for Jonathan David, like that first goal was a pure striker's goal, right? Fantastic. Second one, just, kind of, hey, crash the net and good things will happen even in soccer/football. But when you see David, how much do you think this is going to allow him maybe to just relax now?
I mean, if you ask Jesse Marsh or any of his teammates about Jonathan David, they'll say not at all. They'll say he's never not relaxed, right? He's just like the most calm person who never seems to be phased, whether it's he's in a good spell or a bad spell, whether he's taking criticism or getting tons of praise. He just doesn't really change. He's very level-headed, and I think that can, sometimes maybe be a superpower, and that when things are tough, it doesn't necessarily knock him and doesn't necessarily get him down. And then maybe at other times you say, well, you wish you saw a bit more urgency or a bit more kind of aggression from the player at times to make something happen. But in this case, it serves him very well. This is the highest level of scrutiny. He's going through maybe his most difficult time in a national team jersey, getting more kind of criticism than he's ever received before. And he comes out and scores a World Cup hat trick. And I think that tells you kind of all you need to know about how just kind of, again, level-headed he is mentally.
Yeah, no question, for sure. So now we move ahead, and Wednesday, we know what's on the line. Win or draw, and Canada finish first. If they lose, they finish second. I know there's like a 0.00001% chance that somehow they wouldn't get through, but it's almost impossible. I don't see any reason why. So you look at the matchup now. What do you feel tactically Canada's going to have to do to be victorious or get a draw next Wednesday?
Well, you're going to get a Switzerland team, firstly, that can deal with kind of the pace of a top-level game, which Qatar didn't look like they could. You're going to get a team that's going to be good at holding on to the ball and potentially slowing the game down in periods when they want to do that. A very savvy, experienced team as well. They've had some of their own issues in terms of, finding enough attacking threat. They finally did late in that game against Bosnia with some of the substitutes, so you'd expect that will influence their selection as well. The one thing that's interesting with Switzerland is that I don't think it's impossible. I'm not necessarily sure it's likely, but I don't think it's impossible that they already have one eye on the next round here. Obviously, in theory, both teams will want to win the group, but I think it's more important to Canada than it is to Switzerland. And the worst case scenario for Switzerland is they empty the tank trying to win this game, and they need to win, obviously, and not just get a draw, and then don't get the result they need, and are playing 4 days later in the round of 32 as the second place team. And that's the big difference here is the second place team will play June 28th. The first place team plays July 2nd. It's a really big difference in terms of runway into that match. So whether they have half an eye on that and say, we could be okay finishing second, South Korea is probably going to be the opponent. It will be in LA and their base camp is in California, may not be a terrible outcome for them, and maybe choose to rest some guys as a result. I'm not sure, but it certainly either way will be Canada's most challenging test of the tournament so far.
And, with Kone out, how do you see just the lineup adjusting, if anything, other than Kaliba? Like, coming off the bench, everything else. Tactically, what do you think changes?
Yeah, I don't think too much. I think it will be Saliba and for Kone. I'd be surprised if it's anything else. Chouanier is an option. He's a good set-piece taker as well, but I think they'll go with Saliba. Kyle Larin has 2 and 2. He's not coming out of the team. Obviously, no debate about Jonathan David anymore as well. So the only adjustments I think you could see more with the substitutions, again, it will depend on the state of the game, is did they try and get Alphonso Davies in and get him some minutes if he's ready for that? Do they try and get Moise Bombito in again to top up his minutes? But in terms of starting the lineup, I'd be surprised if there's any changes bar Kone.
Okay. Alphonso Davies was available yesterday, and I thought that word was very key. He was available, which and obviously once they got up early, there was no chance that he was going to play, but I'm still not sold he was going to play anyway. Do you think he starts the next game, or are they still going to try to rest him maybe until they get into the elimination round?
Yeah, it's very difficult to tell, to be honest with you. Like, it seemed sudden that he was available because he had been only in training for like a couple of days at most. We hadn't seen all of the training sessions in full leading up to the game, so it's sometimes difficult to tell how much he is actually participating. But Canada Soccer had been telling us up until a couple of days before that he was still in the return to play kind of injury recovery protocol and just doing limited individual work. So he didn't seem to have much runway in terms of full training into that game. So I'm kind of with you. I wasn't expecting to see him, and I was a bit surprised when they announced he was available. Now he gets a bit more time, presumably, to train properly. It's a question of whether, how much value do you put on getting him into the game, getting him some minutes, allowing him to maybe adjust to, the pace of things and first team football again, versus giving him perhaps some extra time to be extra ready for the round of 32, particularly again, if you're in that July 2nd game and you've got a bit of a longer break going into it. So it's really difficult to tell right now. It's all kind of speculation from the outside as to how ready he actually is and what his role is going to be as a result.
When you look at Switzerland, what are the biggest concerns that they will bring to Canada?
I think, like I said before, it's the ability to kind of play the game on their terms and prevent Canada from, playing the Jesse Marsh type game they want of pace, intensity, lots of running, direct play, going to goals as quickly as you can. They have the kind of midfielders, when you look at Granit Xhaka, Remo Freuler, Fabian Rieder, some of these guys, they're very good at holding on to the ball and making you run. And if Canada gets into that kind of game where they can't get on the ball, they're kind of emptying the tank, trying to get it back, Switzerland is able to control the tempo of the game and then probably has a bit more off the bench to bring in to impact the game late on as well. That's the kind of game Canada wants to avoid. But on the other hand, sometimes Canada is okay not having the ball, playing on the counter-attack, playing in transition. That can suit them as well. So it's just going to be about, I think, finding that right balance between, when do we press, when do we go after them and really try to get the ball back, and when are we okay letting them have it, take a bit of a breather and wait for your opportunities, pick your moments.
Oliver, really appreciate the rundown, man. Enjoy it. And I'll say one thing. The Canadians will come in with a boatload of confidence on Wednesday, and hopefully they can finish it off.
Thanks, Jason. Enjoy it.
There you go. Canada, of course, a huge 6-0 victory yesterday. That's Oliver Platt from One Soccer. Coming up, we go from football on your feet to football on your hands. On the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Looking for a truck that could handle anything Alberta throws your way? Wolf GMC Buick has the offers to get you behind the wheel. Get 0% financing for up to 72 months on select new 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 models. Plus, trade in an eligible 2015 or newer pickup and receive a $1,000 truck trade-in bonus on select Sierra models. Ask about bonus offers for heroes, students, recent graduates, and more. Visit wolfgmcbuick.com.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Are you looking for safe and reliable transportation solutions for your wedding, corporate retreat, or golf trip? Look no further than Silent Rides, Alberta's premier charter bus company. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer 3 different sizes of units to cater to your needs, and we provide first-class service at affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is serious about cooling. In fact, we offer multiple ways to cool your home. So you better
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If you're looking for traditional air conditioning, we got you.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Or ask us about a heat pump to help you heat and cool.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Cool with AC or cool with a heat pump. Cool your home with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
If you've got a smart speaker, get it to play Sports 1440.
And it doesn't matter when you listen as we roll out the Sports Talk
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Edmonton's home for sports radio is Sports 1440.
Shoulder pain. It can make even the simplest things like reaching up, lifting a bag, brushing your teeth, or sleeping frustrating. Rotator cuff strains, impingement, arthritis, they're some of the most common issues we treat every day. I'm Grant Fedoruk, and at Leading Edge Physio, our team brings postgraduate training, evidence-based technology, and just the right amount of humor and humility to help you feel better. Because we never forget the most important part, the gratitude we feel for every patient who allows us the opportunity to care for them. Because life shouldn't hurt. When it does, leadingedgephysio.com.
Don't let equipment failure stop you cold. At AWS Welding in Nisku, our factory-trained service techs are on hand for all welding equipment repairs. We're a fully warranted center for Miller, Lincoln, and ESAB. And we service all makes and models. Proper, regular service extends the life of your gear and keeps it running at peak capacity. Don't wait for a breakdown. Book your service appointment today at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Hey, it's Jamie from Green Drop Lawn Care. They may be teeny tiny, but chinch bugs can completely devastate your lawn or garden. If you have yellowing grass that doesn't improve with watering, you may already have them. At Green Drop, we'll identify them, treat them, and help you recover from the damage before it's out of control. Stop chinch bugs cold with Green Drop Lawn Care, Canada's lawn expert since 1979. Find out more and get started at greendrop.com.
Photographers, start your cameras. Vision Credit Union's annual photo contest is back. We're asking you to show us the people, places, and moments that made you glad you chose this rural life. Maybe it's the view from your farm, a walk down Main Street, neighbors pitching in, a weekend at the rodeo, or a sunset down a back road. Share your photo to show why life in rural Alberta is a choice worth celebrating. Enter and vote at whatsyourshare.ca.
Hey, it's Jamie from Green Drop Lawn Care. You've known and trusted us as Canada's lawn expert since 1979. In all that time, the only thing we've loved to watch grow and flourish more than your lawn is our community. You've given us so much over the years, and we love to give back. Our community events crew is on the streets, at the festivals, and helping grow great causes and charities across the city. We love knowing your lawn is taken care of, and we'll help take care of the community too. Visit greendrop.com, and we'll see you out there.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Looking for a tasty lunch? Papa John's has you covered. Get a small 2-topping pizza for only $9.99 with code S999 at papajohns.ca. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Positive Friday continues on. How you doing? Jason Gregor, Wanya Gretz, Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. And it's too bad. I wish the game was tonight just because the weather's going to be a little bit wetter tomorrow. A little bit. So we'll see how much. So the Elks, hey, they won a game with tons of rain in Ottawa. So we'll see if that changes.
They say we're supposed to get a month's worth of rain tomorrow.
Well, I heard like 5. I thought it was 5 centimeters. Which is still a fair amount, which would be, if it's 5 centimeters, that would be 2 inches, right? That's a lot of rain. So who knows if it'll be at the game or not? You never know. Hopefully they're wrong. The weatherman has not always been right, but this one seems pretty pot committed on the weather. Now let's go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical. And if you've been thinking about it, you've been sitting on the fence wondering, do I do it? Do I not do it? Well, now's the time to act to get solar on your commercial building. You can qualify for up to 30% federal tax credit plus accelerated capital cost allowance benefits. ActionElectrical.net. And to break down a game of undefeated teams. I know it's early, but still, there's only 3 teams left, and 2 of them are going head-to-head in Edmonton on Saturday. The Montreal Alouettes are 2-0. The Green and Gold are 1-0. And to discuss it, Marco Badilla, former player, now, of course, Al's radio analyst. Marco, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Let's start with the unfortunate news for the Tyrese Beverette, who I think is probably their best defensive player. He is really good, and he is out. Can you describe how big of a loss this is going to be for the Owls?
Yeah, and I think we actually saw the effects of Beverette not being in the lineup last week, where he started the game after being questionable with a neck injury during the week leading up. And then after a couple of snaps, he was no longer out on the field. So there's some shuffling in that Alouettes linebacking core. And we saw them give up, over 400 yards of offense to the Toronto Argonauts in the absence of Beverette, who really is, the heart and soul of that defense, the kind of guy that can make plays against the run, against the pass. He can get after the passer. And whenever that defense needs a big play, usually Beverette's somewhere around it, either making that play or helping contribute to it.
How do they replace him, Marco? Is it by committee? Because I know they move guys around to a lot of different positions.
Well, that's the thing. In Northrop's defense, you're going to see a lot of different personnel packages. You're going to see some 3-down linemen, 4 linebackers, maybe an extra defensive back out on the field. But the good news is middle linebacker Jeffrey Conte-Arku, who took over for Darnell Sankey after moving on from the Alouettes in free agency, is doing a tremendous job in the middle of that Montreal defense. And in replacement of Sankey, they brought in Mika Awe, who's an absolute tackling machine. I mean, he's been averaging over 100 tackles a season over the past couple of years. So with the flexibility that Conte-Arku has, it was a simple move to have him slide over to that weak side linebacker spot occupied by Beverette and insert the veteran Mika Awe right in the middle there. So I don't think the Alouettes will skip a beat in that linebacking core. And the good news out of all this is that strong side linebacker spot, Najee Murray, back in the lineup after missing the game against the Argos last week.
Offensively, the Owls have been very good, and they pass the ball better than anyone from the quarterback. They got the 2 leading receivers. Davis Alexander, it was funny, Malik Carney, Alexander's never lost in the regular season. He goes, yeah, but I know how to beat him, because obviously they beat him in the when he was a member of Saskatchewan in the Grey Cup. But it's been an unreal start for Alexander. He can make any throw. He's really good on broken plays, is where I find maybe sometimes he's at his best. When you look at this offense, why have they been so successful in the passing attack?
I think there's been quite a shift in the play calling philosophy since Anthony Calvillo took over for this 2026 season. So far in these 2 games, I haven't seen what I was expecting to see. I was expecting to see traditional Montreal offense that we've seen over the past couple of years, some throws at or behind the line of scrimmage, lots of wide receiver screens, nothing too high risk. But in these 2 first games, I mean, they are airing it out. They are letting Davis Alexander and those receivers run wild down the field, looking for that big play, very aggressive with throws down the field. And I think with the chemistry that Alexander has with Tyson Philpott and Tyler Snead, 2 of the most dynamic receivers in the CFL, we're just seeing the results of a mix between that chemistry, the talent, and the aggressive play calling from Calvillo and this Montreal staff.
Yeah, what have you noticed different maybe in Calvillo's play calling from Moss?
That right there, that they're really going to try to stretch the field vertically, running the ball a little less, which, I don't know how I feel about that. I would like to see some of those running backs get some more carries. I know in the first game, Travis Tice got injured early against the Ticats, so rookie Shamari Lawrence had to handle most of the load, got some carries late in that fourth quarter, and did very well with the football in his hands. Now, once again, for tomorrow afternoon's games, it'll be Tyson Lawrence in the backfield as Stevie Scott is still not ready to go for the Alouettes this season. But, when Tice gets going and the physical type of runner that he is, if he can get those yards in the middle, those physical yards, get that offensive line firing off the football, I think that'll help this offense, and that'll open up even more things for Anthony Calvillo, especially in that play action game.
Yeah, it's been interesting to watch just kind of the evolution. Jason Moss goes to Montreal, has had a boatload of success. And offensively, they're very creative. Defensively, you mentioned Nothorpe's defense, and he brings guys from all over the place. Now, some suggest that at times, you leave a few of your guys in the secondary exposed. And we saw Chad Kelly, 445 passing yards last week. What didn't the defense like, and where they say, okay, we can't give up that many passing yards? What do you see they have to change to be better and limit the passing yards tomorrow?
Yeah, you know what? I think it's just understanding their assignment, understanding the situation, and keeping guys in front of them. We know that Chad Kelly is a guy who's going to take shots down the field. He can extend plays with his legs, and the Argos have a good receiving core. And I think the Alouettes defense in the secondary especially may have lost sight of that. And I think that group is out to prove something this weekend, is that they've had a little bit of a slow start to the season compared, to the Montreal defenses of the past couple of years. You're talking about giving up nearly 400 yards of offense a game, only 2 sacks, nearly 30 points a game that this defense has given up. That's not a Montreal Alouettes defense. And so tomorrow's an opportunity for them to try to get back where they were these past couple of years, where they were really the dominant unit of this football team.
If you're defending against Rankin, how are you doing it?
Oh, gosh, after what he did in week 1, I'm not sure if I have an answer for that. I think the focus for this Montreal defense is going to be to run to the football, no matter where you are on the football field. Even if you're on the opposite sideline, don't take a second off. Don't start jogging. You got to make sure you run to the football till he's down, because he has that ability to make a man miss or break a tackle and then hit a home run on you. So getting bodies to the football and making sure they wrap him up, I think, will be the key to trying to limit him.
Well, obviously, if you're Edmonton, you want to try to get him into space, because when he has space, and as we saw in the Ottawa game, he makes guys miss, and all of a sudden, boom, he's got great explosive speed. He's gone. And that, to me, is the challenge. Who do you feel, with Beverett out, like, who are the best pure tacklers on the defense for the Montreal Alouettes?
Well, I think obviously Mika Alway in the middle of that defense, as I mentioned earlier, 100-plus tackle guy over the past couple of years. Great sideline to sideline speed and a physical hitter who comes with hatred when he meets you at the football. I think the loss of athleticism with Beverett not in the lineup, that leads me to believe that we're probably going to see some personnel adjustments on the defensive side of the football for the Alouettes, where we might bring in that extra defensive back, especially in passing situations, so that Rankin, when he leaks out of that backfield, if they motion him out early, try and isolate him instead of being matched up on a linebacker where Rankin's got the advantage. Now you've got an extra defensive back that's capable of covering him a little better than maybe 2 of those big body linebackers in Alway and Conte Arku that you have on the field in a regular base package.
Marco, really appreciate the rundown, man. What's your tip? I'm sure you've had a few games in the rain. Any tips you learned that can be better when you're playing in a heavy downpour?
Oh, man, there's nothing you can do about it. You just got to embrace it. Try and make sure that ball security, if you're on the offensive side of the ball, make sure ball security is your number one priority. And if you're on the defensive side of the ball, any opportunity you get, if you're the second man in, you take a swipe at that ball, because it's always hard to hang on to when the weather's wet outside.
Awesome stuff, man. Really appreciate it. Thanks for this. Enjoy the game tomorrow.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me.
There you go. That is former CFL analyst now for the Montreal Alouettes, Marco Brulette, as the Als in town tomorrow against the Green and Gold. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. You want to go to the game? We got a 4-pack of tickets for you. If you're interested, text us, 833-401-1440. But 100% you can go rain or shine, okay? No fair weather fans. If you want to go to the game tomorrow night, take the fam, take the kids, take your buddies, whoever. 4-pack of tickets, 833-401-1440. Let's get to the Con Man Sports 1440 update, brought to you by Hire Good. For professional property services that you can feel good about, get Hire Good. Site cleanup, debris removal, seasonal maintenance, and more. Stable jobs, create stable lives. HireGood.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
World Cup rolling on earlier today. The United States flanking Australia 2-0. Later on, got Morocco and Scotland. Brazil takes on Haiti, and Turkey up against Paraguay. That's 9 o'clock from San Francisco. In the majors, Jays falling to the Cubbies 16-2. Still to come tonight, Tigers taking on the White Sox. The Reds up against the Yankees. Rays host the Nationals. Braves get the Brewers. Astros, Guardians. Padres taking on the Rangers. The Athletics hosting the Angels. Mariners up against Boston, while the Orioles in LA for a matchup with the Dodgers. Week 3 in the CFL gets going in Hamilton with the Tiger Cats and Lions. That one starts going at 5:30. The Elks in action tomorrow, 2 o'clock, hosting the Montreal Alouettes. At the U.S. Open, right now, it is Wyndham Clark atop the leaderboard at 7 under par. Matt Fitzpatrick, Xander Schauffele, Sam Stevens, all 3 under. As for Canadians, Corey Connors 1 over. He'll be playing on the weekend. Sadar Shan, Yalmaraji at +5. Nick Taylor as well. Ben Silverman 6 over par. Will all miss the cut. And from the NFL, Jeffrey Simmons agreeing to be the highest paid defensive lineman in NFL history. Signed with the Titans on an extension, $105.8 million over 3 seasons. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Craig Button from the NHL on TSN. We'll hear Cam Pate's 2-minute warning and ask 5 questions. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Action Electrical Solar Team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy, designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Okay, new strategy. I'll just live in the freezer till October. It's spacious in here. It's spacious.
There's a better way to survive the coming AC season. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. We offer convenient financing options and fast appointments so you can enjoy your entire home, not just the freezer.
Now I can leave the frozen peas where they belong.
Book now at prosolutionsinc.ca.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit, no credit? We got you. Text CHECK to 780-777-7777. That's CHECK to 780 all 7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Novo Blinds is your home ice advantage for window coverings. Edmonton's own custom manufacturer with over 300 5-star reviews from homeowners, builders, and commercial contractors. Book a free in-home consultation at novoblinds.ca.
Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new McCafe Refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors. Strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
You've got better things to do than wait for an oil change. Jiffy Lube gets you in and out fast. No appointment necessary. All you have to do is roll into a location near you, and we'll take care of the rest. Every full synthetic oil change at Jiffy Lube is warranty approved and comes with a 20-point visual inspection, making sure you get back on the road safely. Find your neighborhood Jiffy Lube today. Visit jiffylubeservice.ca.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, jersey barriers and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at bashawconcrete.com. Family owned, over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. bashawconcrete.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. From weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden, rotator cuff tears and tendonitis to post-surgical knees and hips, we fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show. The best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
It's after 4 o'clock. Congratulations, Mark. He's going to the game. Got some seats to enjoy the Elks potentially staying undefeated. We'll see. Could be a 2-0 for the first time since 2019. Welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show. As always, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, where tonight, Lotto Max, $25 million and 25 prizes of $100,000. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. Good luck. You're due. You are due. Hopefully. Maybe. We'll see. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. We're going to get to the 2-minute warning with Cam Tate momentarily. We got Craig Button, Spec, LT coming up in the final 2 hours of the show. If you missed it earlier today, the Toronto Maple Leafs acquiring Darren Radish, and in a sign and trade, it was an 8-year deal at $8.5 million. They gave up a 5th rounder to Tampa Bay. So there's two sides of this to look at. You look at Radish. He had an unreal year. Now, he's been an NHLer for 3 full seasons, 33, 37, and then he jumped up to 70 points. Obviously, it's a massive. I don't know if he'll get 70 points. Again, he obviously, him and Kucherov had really good chemistry on the power play. Now, in the last 5 years, there's only 3 NHL defensemen who have had 10 or more goals in the power play. Radish had 10 this year. Makar had 11. Yossi had 11. Makar had 12. Now, Makar and Yossi each had 9 a few times. So those guys have done it. Now, Darren Radish has an absolute bomb of a shot. And can shoot it from, and he's accurate. That's the other thing. He led the NHL this year with 96 shots of 90 to 100 miles an hour. Most in the NHL. Second most, Evan Bouchard, 51. Bouchard had led the league the previous 2 years. But Bouchard's, it's interesting to look. He had I want to get the exact number on it, but it is something that I'd be curious about to talk to Evan about, because we saw a pretty big reduction in his shot velocity, at least the number of shots the last few years for Evan Bouchard when it comes to shot speed. So as I mentioned, Radish had 96, Bouchard had 51. In 2024, Bouchard had 110 90 to 100 mile an hour shots. In 2025, he had 74. And then this past season, it went down to 90 to 51. So now I'm looking at, from 80 to 90 miles an hour, Bouchard had 127. A few years ago, he had 100 and 108, but he had more of the higher ones. And then he had 139, right? But it's a pretty big drop, almost in half of his 90 to 100 mile an hour shots. Now, is that because he's just not teeing it up as much? Not really. I looked at his total shots. So it is something to, did he have a little bit of an ailment? And maybe the rest will help. That'll be something to watch for next year. But Radish can shoot the bomb. There's no doubt about that. People get the $8.5 million. That's just having to readjust. When you look at the cap, when you look at percentage of cap, 8.5 this year is equivalent to a guy who made 6.75 in 2024 when the cap was only 83.5 million. And next year the cap goes up to 113. So it'll alter. It's the term. 8 years, that's the concern. Now, is it a concern for the next 4? Probably not. Maybe not even 5. But the last few years of an 8-year deal, there's a reason why starting September 15th, no more 8-year deals. Only 7 years if it's a player that you have, like Tampa sign him, then they can trade him. So you could do it 7 or 6 for free agents, right? Like there's a reason why teams are doing it because there's too many. It's not the AAV, it's the term that usually bites you in the ass. I don't mind this deal for Toronto, but I'm curious, Tampa Bay, when I see them make this trade in their division. Now, some will say, Gregor, if they don't make it, then Toronto just gets them anyway. Maybe. Or do other teams get involved? But either way, I just find it like Vegas says, you know what? Edmonton's our biggest rival. We're not allowing you to talk to our coach who's not even on our team. Tampa Bay says, you know what? We'll take a 5th rounder and you sign Radish. Now, you could have just let him walk for nothing, but maybe other teams sign him. Like, part of me wonders if Tampa looks and says, you know what? We just don't view Toronto as a legit challenge to us. We look at Tampa Bay. We look at Buffalo. We look at Montreal. I wonder how much that plays into it.
Oilers fans who are getting ready to run Darnell Nurse out of town, think about the salary cap implications of what his contract looks like in 2 years when these bigger totals are hit.
Yeah.
It becomes much more palatable as time goes on here when people are going to be handing out crazy contracts.
Yeah. So, hey, Gregor, Hedman not playing was why he got the contract. No. It was because he took advantage of it. There was an opportunity and he crushed the door. That's what it, you know what? Hedman being injured, if Radish doesn't produce, Hedman's still injured. Radish produced. And not every player does that. Just because you get a good opportunity doesn't mean you're going to produce. And I give him credit. He produced, man. He came through, and not a lot of guys do that. That's a big win for Radish. A guy who hadn't made a ton of money in his career. He worked hard. He improved his defensive play. He became way more accurate with his shot. And it led to a life-altering payday. $68 million. Like, good for him. I never get mad at the player ever. Right? Just somebody out there, you know what? You get a good payday. You worked hard for good for you. I would never feel jealous for him. I'm like, hey man, they put in a lot of work. I don't know what he had to do on his path. I have no idea. So I see what happened when he played. Great. But you don't know the sacrifice and the work ethic they put in. So good for anybody who can do it.
And that's late in the game to cash in and get the bag too.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
So he's probably had a lot of seasons being like, man.
Well, prior to this, I think he'd made $2.9 million in his career. And now he cashes in at 68. Like that's life altering for him and his family for the future. So good for him.
Probably inspires other older players too that are still grinding away on lower AAVs, right?
Well, I think a lot of players, they feel like, you know what? Can I be a difference maker? Because a lot of people say, I just need a chance, right? Like, it's funny how many people say, oh, yeah, I play. Oh, you know what? Yeah, my coach never liked me. That's why I didn't go to the higher level. And I'm always like, the coach might have limited your ice time, but if you had the skill, then someone else would have given you a chance. It's okay, because it's easier for some people to say that rather than be like, you know what? I wasn't good enough, which I've never really understood. Like, it's hard to be an NHL player. You could be a really good university player. You could be a really good WHL player. You could be a really good junior A player, junior B, whatever. That's the level you play at. Be happy with it. Doesn't mean you're less of a human. Just someone might be better at hockey. Who cares?
Do you think there are instances among NHL players, though, where having the wrong coach altered the trajectory of their career? Or do you think they always overcome usually?
No. I think there's lots of players. Well, you start to lose confidence and sometimes you never regain it. Now, Darren Radish, this guy undrafted player, spent 6 years in the American League, just grinding it out, working on his game. Wasn't drafted, so he's probably thinking, hey, man, make the most of it. Then he got to the NHL. Took him 6 years. That's a long time. But he kept working on his game. Didn't use the fact that he was in the AHL as an excuse not to keep working hard. And he got rewarded, right? Hey, just being in the NHL, that in itself was probably a big reward. But then you cash in like this. Hey, good for him. So I like it. I always like those stories like that. Now, let's get to the 2-minute warning with Cam Tate, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home with the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC unit, or you can bundle it up with your furnace and save even more. LegacyHeating.ca. Cam Tate, longtime journalist in town. Cam, born with cerebral palsy. He's in a wheelchair. And despite his disabilities, never let him slow him down. 45 years as a reporter in town. He's always wanted to be in radio. And now he is. So the wonders of technology, Cam's words come to life in the 2-minute warning. And on Friday, I get the honor of reading Tater's 2-minute warning. Connor, cue the music. All right, Gregor. I'm playing your game of being Oilers GM. I want the GM job right now, today. I got a notepad, a bad knee, and zero patience for nonsense. Let's talk net. I'm calling Vegas. Aiden Hill, good goalie, solid, quiet. Posts an .871 save percentage, which in Edmonton terms means he stops the puck more than the Henday stops traffic. Not always, but more. Here's his contract clause. Hill gets his save percentage up to .950, gets a piece of 3 Edmonton investments, a stake in the Kingsway parking lot, a silent partnership in White Avenue pierogi truck, and a timeshare 1 week per year on the West Edmonton Mall submarine. He'll be the wealthiest man 40 feet underwater. Good for him. Defense, I need a puck mover. Not a puck toucher, not a puck watcher, a mover. The kind who reads the ice 2 seconds ahead, steps up and makes Oilers fans forget what anxiety feels like. Think Cale Makar, think Quinn Hughes, think Rasmus Dahlin. Go get me that guy. Trade for him, draft him, manifest him. I don't care. And up front, I want a tough guy, a real one. Someone who drops the gloves, sends a message, and makes the other team nervous on the bench. Tom Wilson, Ryan Reeves, that type. Kind of forward who reminds the other team this isn't a figure skating competition. Edmonton's got skill, I know that. But skill without grit is just a highlight reel. Give me both. Now, contracts, 3 years. That's the rule. 3, not 7, not 8, not the kind of deal that outlasts your dentist. 3 years. You want to wear the orange and blue? Prove it. Every shift, every period, every game at Rogers Place with 18,000 people who drove here in -30 because they actually believe. You don't want to be here? I see it. I always see it. And I'll be traded faster than a city crew fills a pothole on 97th Street, meaning I won't, actually, but I'll try. Now, the part that matters most. Every home game. A warrior of the game, a Canadian veteran, decorated real, someone who signed up, shipped out, and came back changed. Before the puck drops, that veteran walks into the room. No PR handler, no talking points, just them and the team. They give the pep talk. Because if these players, good players, can't find something inside themselves after hearing from someone who bled for this country, we don't have a hockey problem. We have a soul problem. Hire me. I'll bring the notepad. Cam Tate, 2-minute warning. Sports 1440. Ooh, a little motivational speak from Cam Tate.
No long contracts. There's something to be said for that.
Hey, dude, I've said it for years. I think the NHL, after the age of 28, should have maxed 5 years. And they're slowly getting there. They're only 1 year away in free agency. Starting, this is the last summer that free agents can get 7-year deals. Next year, it's down to 6. And on the next CBA, I won't be shocked if it goes down again to 5 and eventually gets there. Other leagues have it. I don't see, first of all, 9.6% of players have 8-year contracts right now. It's a small percentage. And some of those guys, remember Nathan McKinnon? It's not great to be the best value contract in the NHL, right? Because he signed for 8 years. Imagine if he only had signed. Now, he was younger, so a little bit different. But his point to me makes sense. And if you're a superstar player, you sign for 5 years, and you keep superstars usually maintain it. Guess what? They're still going to get paid. It's not going to matter. It's more so going to be the guys who have a lower percent chance of maintaining the play to make their contract fair value in the final 3 years of the deal. Because those are the contracts, and there's a long list of them that have bit teams in the ass time and time and time again. Now, they don't have the wherewithal because it's like, well, geez, if we don't do it, Chris across the street's going to do it. It's true, but a lot of GMs, they're not with the team for 8 years. So they're not even worried about, well, you know what, the last 3 years might suck. Well, I can't worry about that because I might not be here, right? Right or wrong, that's how they view it. So I'd be all over it for, you're never going to get 3 years, but 5 years for after the age of 28, I'd be all for it. So whether or not it ever happens, we shall see. Hey, Greggs, I hadn't really thought about your point. Everybody's so focused on the coach. I do agree. There's way more on the GM. Well, think about it. Look at the Oilers roster today. The coach isn't going to alter it that much. You know, hey, I like this guy. Doesn't mean you'll get him. right? So the GM's got to negotiate with Connor Murphy's agent. The GM's got to negotiate with Dickinson's agent. Kapanen's, if they're going to sign him or not. And we'll see. And then the GM's making the Nurse trade. The head coach isn't making the trade. It's the GM making the trade. So, yes. And it's not the coach who's going to come in the room, hey, I want this goalie. Well, great. Doesn't mean you'll get him. So, you can have some input, but the coach has been out of the league for 7 years. I don't know how closely he's followed. I have no idea. Like, what's his scouting assessment on other players? He can have an idea. The coach will say, hey, I want to play this style of play. That's where you got to be in unison with your GM. Like, don't get guy who can't forecheck if you want to be a hard forechecking team, right? That would be a terrible connection. So don't do it. So they got to find out, and he'll know what style he wants to play. We all know that the Oilers would like some defensive, responsible players. That's why they went out and got Murphy and Dickinson. Right? They got bigger body and Doc who can skate. It's got sneaky good hands around the net. So they got pieces. But to fill in the pieces, to me, I think there's more emphasis right now on the GM than the head coach. Right? Well, soon to be head coach. Not official, but unofficial, if you know what I mean. When we come back, a former GM, and we're going to talk to him about that. Craig Button next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is serious about cooling. In fact, we offer multiple ways to cool your home. So you better
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If you're looking for traditional air conditioning, we got you.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Or ask us about a heat pump to help you heat and cool.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Cool with AC or cool with a heat pump. Cool your home with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Good to go. With Mortgages to Go, you'll be good to go. MortgagesToGo.ca says yes when the banks say no. That's why Alberta has trusted Mortgages to Go for over 23 years. If you need cash and have equity in your home, you're approved instantly, guaranteed. Call 1-888-888-5998. That's 1-888-888-5998. With Mortgages to Go, you'll say, I'm good to go.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Are new McCafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more? Like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream. All swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Cattail Crossing Golf and Winter Club. Fun and friendly with morning rates Monday to Thursday. Just $65 for 18 holes with cart. $55 for seniors. Includes a $5 food voucher for dining at Cattail's Out of Bounds restaurant. There's early bird golf Saturday and Sunday. $50 for 9 holes with cart and snack voucher. 9 and dine Fridays after 4. $130 per pair for 9 holes, cart, and a $40 Out of Bounds gift card. Plus, Glow Golf every second Friday and bring your dog golfing on Mondays. Visit cattailcrossing.ca.
Looking for a solid 4x4 that checks all the boxes? The 2026 Jeep Compass is in stock now at St. Albert Dodge, and this is a great value, starting from just $36,900. It's a Jeep, so you've got 4x4 capability, plus features like an 8.4-inch touchscreen, Apple CarPlay, active lane management, a Park View rear backup camera, and more. Over 30 in stock right now in just about every color you'd want. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new McCafe Refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors. Strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
Get ready, outdoor enthusiasts, for the Kalmar Gun Show. Head to the Kalmar Hockey Arena today from 3 till 8, tomorrow 10 till 6, Sunday 10 till 3 for the premier event to buy, sell, and trade the best in hunting and sporting gear. Visit huntmaniashows.com.
Hi, Edmonton. Fuel prices are climbing, and Subaru fights back with the all-new, all-electric 2026 Trail Seeker. With up to 444 kilometers of range, fast charging, legendary Subaru symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive, the Trail Seeker is built to help you go further. And when summer adventure calls, it's ready with towing capacity of 1,587 kilograms. Test drive the all-new Trail Seeker. Visit your local Subaru dealership today and seek every trail. Welcome to Uncommon.
It might have been scraped by the snowblower, dented while door crashing, or crunched at the company Christmas party. At some point over the winter, your car was damaged and it's been hiding under a coat of winter grime.
Then come and see Robertson Body Works. We can take care of the damage and the dirt. This week only, call and book a repair and get a complete auto detailing absolutely free.
But you have to book your appointment before the week is up. Go to robertsonbodyworks.com.
I'm Tim Robertson, and I fix cars.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
Whatever the job, consider it done with the Lawnmower Hospital in Ego, the top-rated brand in cordless outdoor equipment. Their universal battery platform takes you from mower to trimmer into the mini bike with just one battery. They keep the party going with the Ego misting fan on those hot summer days, and then keep the party going with the Ego Bluetooth speaker at night. Check lawnmowerhosp.com now for stock and pricing.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
Portions of this hour brought to you by eWell, helping you finish your electrical project is their goal. From pot lights to electrical panels, the gear you need is at ewell.ca or in person at one of their Edmonton area locations. ewell.ca, your partners in power.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
423 as you make your way to the end of the work week. Thanks as always for joining us. Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, Twitch. Thanks for listening and watching. Hey, hit the subscribe button, a thumbs up, say hello to Declan. Ask him some football questions. He would like it. There you go. Gregor Show is always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. As it's time to go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's and back open, baby. The Collingwood McDonald's is opening up on the 24th. So you got about 4 more days. Don't worry, you can set out to the Westgate one on 90th Avenue, but the countdown is on 4 days and they will reopen at Collingwood's McDonald's. Former NHL general manager, Stanley Cup winner, scout, ace analyst and scout for TSN, Craig Button, joins us. Butts, how you doing, my man?
I am doing really good. I don't know if you heard, but Satina Nation here, which does so many great things in the community, but they're opening up a McDonald's right on their land, which is just around the corner from me, and they're going to make it like the theme of their nation. So it's going to be pretty cool. These different themes that are representative of not only a community but of cities. It's really cool.
Oh, nice. All right. Yeah. I like it. Give me your thoughts on the Radish sign-in trade that came down today.
Well, it's interesting. So, and people go, oh, geez, 8 years, $8.5 million. And the way I look at it, Jason, is this way. There's a price to do business. And you can rationalize any decision you make when you use, it's the price of business, and whether you think it's good business or bad business. But here's the business of the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's about next season. It's about the year after. And it's so much about what does Austin Matthews believe the Toronto Maple Leafs are capable of. So can we look at it and go, okay, 8 years, you might say it's a little bit too long, but that's not the mandate that John Chayka is under. He's under a mandate that says we need to get our team improved. We need to show Matthews and Nylander, key players, Matthew Nyes. I know there's so much rumors about him being traded, but you need to show those guys that they have a chance to be successful there. Because what we're seeing around the NHL is if players don't feel they have a chance to have success in a particular market, they're going to ask to be out. That's as simple as that. And I think that for the Toronto Maple Leafs, big market team, big entity in the sports world, that's what it is. So you need to improve your power play. You need that type of a defenseman. I bet you if you put John Chayka to the truth serum and ask them to be he'd like it to be less term. He'd like it to be a little less dollars, but this is the price of business. And the price for business for the Toronto Maple Leafs right now is exactly what I outlined. And I think you can rationalize it as being good business right now.
Yeah, the one thing that I was interested in is now some would say, well, they could have got him anyway. And that could be true that, no other team was willing to match what Toronto was offering, but you don't know that till you get to free agency. And it was an 8-year deal, instead of only 7. So to me, like for Tampa Bay, you give, like, I look at it this way, Craig, and I might be wrong, but I think Tampa Bay making this trade with Toronto is a kind of a little bit of a sign that the organization Tampa doesn't view Toronto as a real deep threat, because you kind of help them by allowing them to get Radish earlier, only for a 5th-round pick, and they get him for an extra year.
Yeah, I think that's sound reasoning. And, you're always assessing your competition, whether it be in the division and certainly within the conference. I don't think you can start looking outside your conference to really assess where you fit in competitively wise with other teams. But certainly within your division, within your conference, I think that's a very rational thought. And certainly I think it's one that's accurate. Why would Tampa Bay see Toronto as a threat to them?
Yeah. You look, we got 2 official and one is as close to official. Press conference is going to either be Monday or Tuesday for Mike Babcock. You got Hiller in Toronto, Craig, and then you have Ryan Craig in Vegas. What do you make of the 3 coaching hires this week?
Well, how about if can I just say we go this week? How about if we stay in the Pacific Division? Manny Malhotra, new coach, Peter Laviolette, new coach, Ryan Craig, new coach, and a new coach in Edmonton. Hey, Jim Hiller's in Toronto and wonderful and everything, but like the Pacific Division is going to have 4 new coaches at the beginning of the season. And I think that's really interesting. We saw where Vancouver was at. They felt there was time to make a change. Edmonton is looking to, they have an immediacy and an urgency to their situation. Ryan Craig, telling the Crimin's words, he's one of us. He's grown up with us. And certainly Peter Laviolette to LA trying to find a way to move forward. So I find it fascinating how close the league is, how teams recognize, okay, I don't think that anybody in Edmonton, anybody in the ownership or the management group would say Chris Knobloch wasn't a good coach. They might be simple, and I think they simply looked at we needed something different. And sometimes something different works, sometimes something different doesn't work as you hoped it would. But I think that it was the case. I mean, DJ Smith, they exchanged Jim Hiller for DJ Smith, Peter Laviolette. I think, Jason, you asked me this question. I'm just going to try to digress for a second. But you asked me this question last year, what 100-point team did I think would have less than 100 points this year? One of the teams I said was the LA Kings. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to go one step further. I don't think they make the playoffs next year.
The Kings, eh? Okay.
Yeah. They're not good enough.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious about, like, they need centers, man. Well, join the list of teams that need a center, but I'm with you. They definitely need a center. And, Doughty's getting older, and, they're kind of changing how they play. Like Peter Laviolette, he plays up-tempo style. The Kings, once they acquired Panarin, I think that was a sign, okay, we can't play this sit back. We haven't won a playoff round since 2014. It's not working. Clearly, it's not working. It might work in the regular season, but it doesn't work in the playoffs, right? So I get it. And, I am a little curious, Fiala and Panarin together on the same roster could be good, but they lose Kopitar. That's a massive loss, and there's really no one on the market to replace it.
Wow. So, and that's you're making my case for why I think you're going to miss the playoffs. Listen, the New York Rangers 2 years ago under Peter Laviolette, when Phil Housley were there, were beyond awful defensively. one thing that the LA Kings have hung their hat on it. So you're going to play differently? How are you going to, like, go ahead, play differently. So you're going to play up tempo with less skill? Like, okay, let's just go through it, Jason. Let's go real quick. So you name Panarin and Fiala, okay?
Yeah.
Name their next really good forwards. I'm talking game-changing forwards. I'm not talking like McDavid, Draisaitl level.
Yeah.
Game-changing forwards. Who can drive off? They hope, I feel.
Yeah.
Alex Laferriere.
I like
okay?
Kempe.
Yeah, Kempe's a really good player.
Yeah.
Okay, so where else are they going to go? You're going to play fast? Go ahead, play fast. You don't have fast players. Their blue line isn't very good.
Yeah, their blue line. That's they don't really move. Like, they got Brant Clark. They're going to have to play him a lot, but they don't really have a lot of like puck moving guys in the back end at all.
I think that I think they look a lot like Toronto will look like last year. A lot of time spent in their own zone. Yeah, we want to play up tempo. And again, like the New York Rangers 2 years ago, like when I say bad defensively, it was beyond bad. And Mike Sullivan came in the New York Rangers this year. They got better defensively, play a little bit more up. They couldn't score.
Craig Button joins us.
Listen, you can play a lot of different styles.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh won a Super Bowl with Joe Flacco quarterback. Then they drafted Lamar Jackson. John Harbaugh said, our offense under Joe Flacco is completely different than it is was completely different than it is under Lamar Jackson. If we asked Joe Flacco to play under Lamar Jackson's offense, no way he'd be successful. If we asked Lamar Jackson to play under Joe Flacco's offense, no chance to be successful. I don't want to hear how a coach is going to play on tempo. You better understand what your players are and what you give your team the best chance. Up tempo in LA, good luck.
Craig Button joins us. Now, Craig, you were the GM, and I'm debating here. I said at the end of the season, I didn't think the Oilers were that far off. Like, obviously, you have to make some adjustments, but do I think they beat Anaheim with 4 healthy centers? I really do. I don't think they go all the way to the Cup final, but there's some areas of the game. I think a lot of it's between the ears. They didn't take the regular season serious enough as a group. So they bring in Mike Babcock, and you know what? Is he going to be a hard ass? Who knows? I don't really buy into that like that much. I'm like, Rod Brind'Amour is beloved by his players. He has a certain standard and says, let's adhere to that standard. And he treats them with respect. Shocking. But I look at the Oilers right now, Craig, and I don't even care who the coach is. The biggest impact on whether they're going to be good next year or how good they're going to be is what their GM does in the next month. From trades, is he going to sign Murphy? Is he going to re-sign Dickinson? Like, where are they going to go? Because if you don't get those guys, there's not a lot of third-line centers. There's not a lot of right-shot defensemen who are second pair on the market. So what are you doing there? And then the Darnell Nurse trade has to be one that you don't lose as bad as you lost in year one, the Stuart Skinner trade. So to me, regardless of having Mike Babcock, there's way more emphasis on Stan Bowman and the management team to have a pretty good next 3 to 4 weeks.
I'm buying your book. Will you personalize it and sign it for me? Because I'm right there. I'm 100% with you. And, you didn't even mention goaltending.
Yes, fair point.
And so, and I know you had it on your list, but I couldn't agree with you more. And I think, like, bring in Mike Babcock. We know that he's been a good coach. We know that he can organize a team. We know that he prepares a team exceptionally well. But if you don't have the players, and like I go back to the 2015-2016 season, the Toronto Maple Leafs ended up as the worst team in the league. And that was an outstanding coaching season by Mike Babcock because the team was competitive. He instilled a number of things into the team that allowed them. They weren't good enough. They were coached well. They just weren't good enough from a skill point of view. So I think that the work that the management office has to do is imperative for the Edmonton Oilers to make sure that they don't find themselves in the same place this coming season as they found themselves last season.
Yeah, well, they got to start good. I firmly believe they'll start good for a variety of reasons. Rested, they want to impress the new coach, blah, blah, blah. And then they've done it their previous 3 coaches. So I'm not going to be shocked with that. And they've still, like, you got Draisaitl McDavid, like you got Evan Bouchard, you got some high-end talent on your team, right? So you got to fill out the rest of it. I am, but like without Dickinson and Murphy, Craig, to me, the same issue, like they finally acquired some guys who think defense first. And I think it's vital for them to acquire them. What about Nurse? What do you see as a realistic return for him?
Well, it might have to be a 2-part situation. it may have to be, okay, if you're going to trade Darnell Nurse and you understand, okay, this is on market for Darnell Nurse and this is what we can do, then, okay, and it might not be, we talk about a hockey trade, get a good player return, but it might have to be done differently. You might have to move Darnell Nurse just because, that's the situation you find yourselves in, and then trying to replace him may have to come through another mechanism, through another deal. And it might be a free agent deal. It might be so I'll give you an example. You trade Darnell Nurse with this whatever. Okay, I'm not going to start putting a young prospect, maybe a draft pick, right? Well, do you think you can go sign Mario Ferraro? He's a free agent.
Yeah.
I'm just using Mario because I know he's a free agent, right? Can you go and sign Mario Ferraro? Mario Ferraro is a really good player. He's played in the Pacific Division. He knows the West. He can skate. He's a great competitor. So you get an exchange for Darnell, and then you go and you replace him in a different way. That's what they may have to do, and I think you have to explore all those options. It might not just come in a straight exchange for Darnell Nurse. If it does, okay, that's fine, but you have to keep your avenues open to how you execute that deal, both from what's the return going to be for Darnell and what's the replacement going to be for Darnell. Two different. They could very well be two different things.
Yeah. Oh, very true. Right. And to me, if you make a Darnell Nurse trade to free up cap space, you have to have a subsequent move already planned. You can't just, okay, we created cap space and then have no plan for the cap space, because it's not like there's a ton of free agents out there. Or now you have to give up even more assets to fill in to get the cap space. Right. That's, to me, the challenge.
And it is a challenge, but every GM in the league has different challenges that are presented to them. And, it's up to the GMs now to find a solution to what confronts them to try to get their team into a competitive spot. Now, every team is in a different place. Oilers find themselves in a different place, but if you trade Darnell and you don't have a player to step in there, and again, Brett Kulak's a free agent. Can Jake Wallman be a second pair defenseman and Kulak settles back into a third pair again? Those are the things you have to consider.
Yes. Yeah. Well, for sure. Lastly, Craig, you look at now we're a week away from the draft. And I know you've talked lots about, Gavin McKenna, and I still think you're pretty confident that he's going to go number one. The San Jose Sharks, I think it's obvious they need defensemen. They moved back 7 spots to get Kesselring, who, should be a fine third pair defenseman. The Bowen Byram mover, and I saw this, I'm like, if you're the Sharks, would you trade one of Misa or Smith for Bowen Byram and then use the number 2 draft pick on Stenberg?
Yeah, that's a really interesting avenue to take. I think the world of Bowen Byram. I think he's a heck of a defenseman. He's Buffalo's second best defenseman after Rasmus Dahlin. And, he's young, he's 25, we've seen what he's done. We see how he functions and really performs in a really good environment, winning a Stanley Cup in Colorado. I don't know if I would trade, because Will Smith can play the wing or in the middle. I know Michael's played on the wing and in the middle. It becomes an interesting thing. I think Buffalo might be more interested in Will Smith than Michael Misa.
Okay.
Because they have Thompson, Norris, and McLeod up the middle of the ice.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm just trying to think of Buffalo, right? But I think that's reasonable for that type of thinking. Absolutely, I think it's reasonable.
Yeah. So it is. I'm kind of curious to see, and if I'm Buffalo, Bowen Byram, I look at his, he doesn't have any numbers to command a massive salary. He'll have a good salary, but I don't know if it's massive. I'm a little perplexed as to why there's the talk of maybe them trading him unless he said he wants out.
Yeah, and I think that's the case. And I'm of the same mindset. We know Dylan Larkin is asked to be traded. Darren Drager has reported that Winnipeg is taking calls on Connor Halley, and I guess you got to do your due diligence to find out if these players are available. But you do wonder, Connor made his comments at the end of the season. Is this more of the underpinnings of him maybe saying, hey, maybe I have to consider leaving? I'm not going to speculate, but certainly the same thing applies to Bowen Byram. And Bowen Byram, with 1 year left until he gets to free agency, that might be another factor. Who knows what he's asking for? And maybe Jarmo Kekalainen and the Buffalo Sabres are saying, you know what, like, we just don't want this to be a distraction. And maybe they're looking at it and saying, well, we're going to commit to Tuck. Like, Tuck's kind of hanging out there. Certainly, Bowen Byron's name is out there. It feels to me like the Buffalo Sabres better be careful of taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back, because it's hard to replace players like Alex Tuck and Bowen Byron.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Alex Tuck. Great. Like, I like Kempe better than Tuck personally. Where do you come out that? And what do you think Tuck is going to get on the free agent market? Is there any team you think that's a fit?
Listen, I'm not. Listen, I love Adrian Kempe. I think Adrian Kempe's a heck of a player. I think he's a frontline player. I think Alex is a unique player with his size, his speed, his power. I mean, and I think that type of player, like, they're both unique players. But I agree with you. But Alex Tuck, these types of players don't come along. What do we talk about? Strength and speed and power and skill. Check every box beside that for Alex Tuck. So a unique player like that, teams that are looking for that type of player, I don't have any question. He's going to make well over $10 million, and I think he should, and I think he's worth it. And I think there'll be any number of suitors that will be all over Alex Tuck.
Oh, yes. I would think there'd be a few of them. And it will be fascinating to see what happens, even though it's not a very deep free agent pool, Craig. All it takes is one to get somebody a big contract. And we saw it.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Sure.
I'm going to ask you a question. Should the Edmonton Oilers go after Alex Tuck if he hits free agency on July 1st?
Ooh, good question. Probably going to cost
you. You don't have to answer it. You can mull it over.
It's going to cost you probably, what, 10 mil?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Darnell cost you 9.25.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, if you're just going to trade him away for nothing. But then you know what, Craig? I think your problem still persists. You're still looking for a defenseman. And
okay, yeah, but we just talked about potentially free agent. Like, the cap's going up. The cap's going up $9 million.
Yeah.
Like, so let me frame it this way for you. How excited would 29 and 97 be to have Alex Tuck coming in?
Oh, I'm sure they would be. Right.
That's why I asked the question.
Yeah. No.
Because it seems so much as around. I mean, these two guys are great players, and they can do so much. And you know, good defense is required. If you think Walmley can step up, you think you can get Kulak. I don't know. If you have Kulak and Walmley can play second pair, and you get Alex Tuck out, and it's just a question. And there might not be an answer to it, but are they at least the same, and maybe add another element up front?
Oh, well, you definitely look at it. No question. I think that, and if you're Alex Tuck, you would be like, okay, there's no team in the NHL that can offer me 2 centers. Like, I don't care which one I play with. Like, there's no team in the NHL that has 2 centers as good as McDavid and Draisaitl. That's a fact, right? So you know you're going to be playing with one or the other. So that's a pretty good situation to be in. I don't know if I want to pay Alex Tuck $10.5 million. That's my only concern. I don't know why. I don't know. I can't wrap my head around that number for him.
Price of business.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're totally right. It's a weird one.
I know.
Yeah.
And like I said, you can rationalize it, and you can. And there's not a right or wrong here, Jason. I don't think you can rationalize a business decision one way, or you can rationalize a business decision the other way. And that's why I say there's no right. I just pose it out there to just try to think about specifically the Edmonton Oilers, and maybe you're not as strong in one area, but you become a lot stronger in another area.
Yeah. No, that's why if you're going to trade Nurse for that and freeze up all the money, then okay. But I still, like you mentioned Walman. Here's my concern about Walman, Craig. So Darnell Nurse in the last 9 years has missed 18 games, right? The best ability is dependability. Jake Walman's last 4 years, he's missed 17, 17, 19, and 29. Now, maybe because Brent Burns missed a lot of games early in his career, and then now he can't miss a game to save his life. So maybe that's what happens with Walman. But that's my one concern is, can Walman, if he's in the lineup, take Nurse's 20 minutes? Yes, I have no doubt about that. But what about happens at 20 games he misses, right? And does he miss it in the playoffs? That's the one. Like Nurse, for all the areas of his game that some people don't like, there's still lots of areas of his game that are good, right? And one of them was he always showed up, right? Like 6 of the last 9 years, didn't miss a game. That's pretty important.
No question about it. No question about it. And certainly the question that you answered with respect, can he do it? Yes. Can he be available to do it is a different question.
Yeah, fair point. Yes. Craig, have yourself a great weekend, my man. Enjoy the hockey and the football, Canadian and European. I love it. Have a good one.
I will. Okay, thanks, Jason.
Yeah, it's Craig Button from TSN. It's a good question on Alex Tuck, Oiler fans. I'll put it out to you. Would you sign Tuck if it cost you 10.5 for 7 years? 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. We'll come back with 5 questions on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
That's right. You don't have to wait because Black Friday is back at Brick. 4 days only. You can shop incredible deals throughout the store. Get 60% off sofas when you buy the matching love seater chair. Save 25% off bedroom and dining furniture. And get up to 40% off select mattresses. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. Hurry in. These Black Friday deals end Monday. Shop in-store or online at thebrick.com. The Brick, saving you more.
Sleep is for the off-season. What off-season? Sports 1440 is live, loud, and locked 24/7. Oilers, Elks, Riverhawks, Stingers, Oil Kings. We've got your picks. Edmonton's home for sports is Sports 1440.
There's one game that kicks off summer, June 20th at Play Alberta Field at Commonwealth Stadium. The Elks home opener, Elks Alouettes, presented by James H. Brown, Alberta Injury Lawyers. Lock in your tickets now at goelks.com/tickets. Our city, our year.
Get ready, outdoor enthusiasts, for the Kalmar Gun Show. Head to the Kalmar Hockey Arena today from 3 till 8, tomorrow 10 till 6, Sunday 10 till 3 for the premier event to buy, sell, and trade the best in hunting and sporting gear. Visit huntmaniashows.com.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
What's it like to score a winning deal at Car West Leduc? Like raising the cup in your hometown on your birthday. Feel it now at Car West Leduc. Experience a vast, uncompromising selection of top-quality used vehicles with no extra fees. Trucks, sedans, vans, SUVs, and more. Backed by family-run service and top dealer ratings on Google. So when the final siren goes, you go home with a deal you'll never forget. Car West Leduc, 6514 Sparrow Drive, Leduc, or at carwestautosales.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by 01 Hockeyology, Edmonton's home for elite hockey development, skating analysis, performance assessment, and year-round training at West Edmonton Mall. Elite hockey development at 01.ca. That's ZERONE.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Positive Friday continues on. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Hope you're having a fantastic day. As we get to, did you know that at the Brick can hurt you in for some great deals? Black Friday is back this weekend. 4 days, only 60% off sofas when you buy the matching love seat. You can get 25% off bedroom and dining furniture and 40% off select mattresses right now at the Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, guys. Question number 1. Let's get a prediction and a bold prediction for tomorrow's Elks Owls game down at Commonwealth.
I looked up what is the most common CFL score, and it's 27-24. So I'm going to go Elks win the home opener in a torrential downpour, 27-24.
All right. The Beverett injury is massive for Montreal. I really think it is. The weather will play a factor. I think it might favor Edmonton because of the run game a little bit more, so that could help them. Although I've always argued that the receivers, you know what? The defense doesn't know what they're doing. It's also brand new turf, by the way. It looked awesome. And I talked to the players, really good compact. That they like it, so that's good. I'll say the Elks shock everybody, get an upset win, and to the tune of 29-21. And my bold prediction is Javon Leake punt return touchdown.
Good pick. Question number 2 for you guys. Chris Streveler was tweeting it out over the last couple of days here just about the surprise and thoughts on 3 games on a Saturday in the CFL. I want to ask you guys, on a standard 4-game schedule, what do you think is the best breakdown of days? How many per day, which days?
Yeah, well, I understand why they're doing it. It's Father's Day weekend. Usually, they're probably not doing the games on Father's Day as much as it is for the players as everybody else. So I don't have a problem with that. And it's 3 games. And he's like, oh, I can't watch all the games. Well, no one's going to watch all the games, dude. Like, I'm sorry. No fan is like, oh, I'm going to watch. If there was a game Thursday, I'd watch it. They don't. Like, they'll watch some. But unless you're a super, like, there's a very small percentage of fans who are like, you know what? I'm watching the whole Thursday game. I'm watching the Friday game and 2 on Saturday, whatever it be. So I don't really think it's that big of an issue.
So how do you distribute your games?
Well, they like Thursdays. So, but, wisely, they didn't play Thursday when Canada was playing. That was a smart decision. So I get why they didn't do it at the World Cup. Like, the schedule is smart. I would... Right now, you have a Thursday, Friday, 2 Saturdays. That's probably what I would do on when you can do it. And, if sometimes you have an early Friday and a late Friday night game and then, none on Thursday, like I'd probably slowly go away from Thursdays and have 2 Friday, 2 Saturday, and then mix in a Sunday one as you get later into the summer once school's out.
I think Friday night and Saturday night's good, Connor. I don't know that the weekday games necessarily have the same draw. Nice Friday night game, go have a few beers, What would you do?
I think I'm a fan of 2 Friday, 2 Saturday. If you can do that and make it work, I'm a fan of that. I don't love Thursday, and truthfully, I don't love Sunday. If it's away and I'm watching it on TV, I'm okay with Sunday, but I don't love going down for me personally for Sundays. Question number 3. Radish gets the 8-year deal. I want to ask you guys, do you think he'll play out the whole contract at an elite level, or do you think we get to a year, and if so, which year, where you think the Leafs will not be loving that they signed the deal?
This contract's touching 2034 hockey, Connor.
Yeah. It'll be 38.
That's deep in the game. I think it's very unlikely you can predict how someone's going to be playing at 38 years old. I think that last year, maybe the last 2 years, either bought out or regretted.
Yeah. Is he going to play out all 8 years? That's tough. I don't think he'll get bought out, but I could see him maybe getting traded later in the contract. I'll say that. Like, I don't think he's going to get bought out.
Question number 4, Jonathan Taves, official retirement. What do you guys say? First ballot Hall of Famer, or Hall of Really Good? Where do you have him?
Shout out Hall of Good on Instagram. by the way. Hilarious account. I think he's in the Hall of Fame, Connor. Do you?
I do, yeah.
He's done virtually everything there is to do.
Yeah. He'll get in because he won all the cups and everything. I like Taves as a player. I always chuckled when people were trying to say he was better than Crosby. That might have been the most overhyped time of his career. It was ridiculous because, you look at his career and really solid player. Never he had one season of over 70 points. He had 2 years of over 30 goals. But because he won cups, multiple cups, that's going to do it. And that's fine. So yeah, he'd probably be, he'll be in there, but I don't think he's I don't think he's like an automatic first ballot Hall of Famer, but he probably will be because of the cups and the hype. I just thought it was ridiculous when people would say Jonathan Toews is as good as Sidney Crosby. I'm sorry, he wasn't close.
Yeah, that's a crazy take for me, but I'm Hall of Famer. The Olympics don't hurt him either. Big fan of his as a player. Question number 5 for you guys. On this day in 2013, sadly, we did lose actor James Gandolfini, who famously portrayed Tony Soprano. In honor of that, who are your top 3, I'll say movie or TV, gangsters, criminals, mobsters of all time?
13 years since James Gandolfini passed away, Connor.
R.I.P.
Some of those anniversaries don't seem right. My top three would be Nucky Thompson from Boardwalk Empire. Don't know if you ever watched that. Unbelievable character. Thomas Shelby, the Peaky Blinders guy. He's great. And then Bane and Batman, the old classic.
Ooh.
Go ahead, Cons.
Mine would probably be, and there's room for probably moving these around, but I liked Frank Lucas. I know based on true story. Denzel Washington, American Gangster, was great. Frank Costello in The Departed. And give me Henry Hill, little Ray Liotta in Goodfellas. You probably could have taken any of the big 3 in Goodfellas, but I'll go with Henry Hill.
Oh, wow. If this is a good one. So I would when you kind of have to go, like the top gangster movies and then just go with the top gangster in the movie. That would maybe be too easy. But I got to go with Pacino and Godfather. He was unreal. I'm going to go with De Niro in Heat. Was unreal. And I'll go, yeah, Gandolfino, just because we can do TV too, right?
Yeah, TV and movies.
Yeah. So I'll go with Tony Soprano.
Unreal character.
Do you remember when he went on SNL in character? That was hilarious. Yeah. He talks like he's a gangster and, with Tina Fey and I never remember the blonde girl's lady.
Amy Poehler.
Amy Poehler, yeah. And it's hilarious how he delivered it like he was Tony Soprano giving up like news updates. It was pretty funny. So I'd recommend that, especially when he's kind of chirping Poehler because she's the mouthy one. So it was pretty good. So yeah, like Gandolfino played that role incredible. And actually, you know what? Another guy like Joe Pesci is unreal in gangster movies. Like he's awesome.
Joe Pesci in anything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, trying to think if there was I'm sure there's one role that you're like, oof, bad, but I just saw a clip the other day of My Cousin Vinny.
So good.
Yeah, like he's funny, but like he was great at just being ruthless. Right? That's what I kind of liked about him. He was awesome at it. Now, of course, he's a tiny little guy, but he played the role quite well because there's lots of tiny little guys in the gangster movies, right? You're Italian, no offense, Italians, but there's some guys a little bit smaller. Just kind of how it goes.
Those are some of the best gangsters because they got a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah, well, of course. They can get in and out of the cars quick. You can't see him. Who's driving? I can't even see his head. Well, what's going on here? Is there anybody driving that car? It's all my short buddies. I love it. We'll take a quick break. We'll return. Mark Spector will join us. Also, LT on a busy Friday as you make your way home for the weekend. Hope you got big plans. Make it fun. Make it enjoyable. Most importantly, make it memorable. Here's a con man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate. Chevrolet Buick GMC and Road Trip Ready event. Hey, you want to make sure your vehicle is road trip ready. You want to make it there and all the way back. Well, they got some great deals, including 0% financing on half tons and more. Stop in this weekend, northgategm.com.
The World Cup rolling on earlier today from Seattle. United States blanks Australia 2-0. Halftime, Morocco leads Scotland 1-0. Later tonight, Haiti and Brazil from Philadelphia. And then at 9 o'clock from San Francisco, Paraguay and Turkey. Major League Baseball, Jays falling to the Cubbies today, 16-2. Right now, the Tigers up on the White Sox, 2-1 in the second. Later on, you got the Yankees and Reds. Giants take on the Marlins. Braves host the Brewers. Rangers, Padres. Pirates up against the Rockies. Angels in Sacramento to take on the Athletics. And the Dodgers host the Orioles. Red Sox in Seattle. CFL Week 3 gets going in about 30 minutes. Hamilton and BC in Ontario at the U.S. Open. Round 2 action. Wyndham Clark atop leaderboard, 7 under par. You've got Matt Fitzpatrick, Xander Schauffele, and Sam Stevens tied for second at -3. When it comes to Canadians, only one participating this weekend. Corey Connors 1 over par. Sadar Shen, Ilham Raju +5, as is Nick Taylor. Ben Silverman 6 over. The 3 will not play tomorrow and Sunday. And from the NFL, Jeffrey Simmons agreeing to a 3-year, $105.8 million extension with the Titans, making him the highest paid defensive tackle in NFL history. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and Alan Mitchell, the host of The Lowdown with Low Tide. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
When your project can't afford downtime, call Japa Equipment Rentals. From excavators and wheel loaders to compaction equipment, Japa has the machines you need. Trusted since 1972. Visit japaequipment.com or stop by our Edmonton or Calgary locations.
Cheering on Canada, Mexico, Australia, France, England, Brazil, Germany, Spain, and the rest of the world at the Druid Irish Pub.
Your World Cup headquarters.
Wear your colors, cheer on your team, and enjoy $6.50 Heineken every game.
Plus, your chance to win a ton of World Cup merch,
including hoodies, jerseys, soccer balls, and more.
The Druid Irish Pub, your World Cup headquarters.
Bringing Edmonton together, one soccer game at a time.
The Druid Irish Pub.
Cheer with us in the Mercer Building across from Rogers Place and Ice District. You may get up early, but more than likely, the team at GS Construction have already gotten up before you, grabbed a coffee, headed to the site, and started their day. So while Edmonton wakes up, GS crews are already underground, quietly keeping things moving, upgrading, and laying the new underground infrastructure for our growing city. If you're the kind of person who goes to sleep with their steel-toed boots on, GS Construction wants to hear from you. We're looking for a maintenance foreman as well as a building and yard attendant. Visit gsconstruction.ca for more.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean. Find us at hughescarwash.com.
Oodle noodle origin. In 1864, Francis Oodle took over his dying father's business as a leatherman. He was quite proficient, but his heart was never truly in the trade. After his father's death, Oodle met a cocksure young man named Vladimir Nudell, who was a trailblazer in the popular new art of food boxes. They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the New World. At Ellis Island, Nudell was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known as Oodle Noodle.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. This deal's only good till 6 o'clock tonight. We need your credit card to hold the color. Hold the color. Summer package. Winter package. And the ever-famous re-PDI fee. I gotta pay to rebuild the car? Does this sound familiar? At Northgate, we do things differently. We offer 0% financing, a great selection of new, pre-owned vehicles. So if you'd like to do business a different way, stop in and see us today. 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country. You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
As we continue on a Friday afternoon, welcome back to Gregor Show on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks as always for listening. Watching the show brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Tonight, Lotto Max, $25 million and 25 prizes of $100,000. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. Hope everybody's set for the weekend. You got off work, you're ready to roll, get home safe, take your time, roll the window down, enjoy. Now, let's get to the spec report brought to you by GS Construction. They're underground infrastructure specialists as they are continuing to work all around the city. You see them on the L-Head, you see them on the ND, wherever you see them, ask you to just take a little extra time going through construction zones. Those construction workers, just like you, they all want to get home safe. Have a steak, have a chicken, whatever you're eating, have a beer, whatever it is. They all want to get home safe to their families like you. So drive through construction zones with caution. As we welcome to the program, Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet. Spec, good afternoon, man. How you doing?
Good. Listen to your show with caution. Read my copy with caution. Caution, my friend. It's always caution.
At some point, yes. Some point. I like it. When you look at give me your thoughts first of all on the Radish deal.
Well, it's a risky deal because he's done it 1 year in a row. You know, if you told me that he was going to be that player for the next 5 years, I'd say killer great deal. My view of the Leafs is as long as they've been around, like in the last 5, 6, 7 years, their defense has been the reason that they haven't been as good as people want them to be. I don't think the defense has been good. They didn't have a first pairing defenseman in a lot of years, in my opinion, on a good team. Like Riley's been their number one. On a good team, Riley's a number 3. So they need good defensemen, and Radish was one for 1 year in a row. He was a big time good defenseman last year. If he's going to keep that pace up, then I love the contract. You know, if it turns out that was the best year of his life and Tampa knew it and let him go, then the Leafs are going to suffer for that. What do you think?
Well, it's hard. Hey, it's hard to score 22 goals in the same year.
Yes, it is.
I will say that for sure.
Yep.
I would look at this. I think this deal's fine. Here was a player who, like, I know everyone's like, oh, he had a career year. Yeah, but he also had a career opportunity. He was never given the amount of ice time that he had this year. And it was due to injury. And when those injured guys came back, his ice time didn't diminish. The coach was like, all right, this guy proved to me he can handle it and he can play. So you're right. He'll be the guy who faces a lot of minutes. Obviously, you need other guys around him to be successful. So who's going to play with? That'll factor in. Is he going to have the same success in the power play? Odds are low he'll score double-digit power play goals. There's only 3 guys that have done it the last 5 years. Makar did it once. Yossi did it once. Radish did it once. But, you know, goal totals can fluctuate spec from year to year, especially for defensemen. But when you have a shot that hard, I don't see it suddenly, disappearing. So that's a weapon. So I think he'll be okay. I think if he's a 60 to 70 point guy,
that's a lot of points.
Yeah.
If the defenseman's getting me 60 points and I'm paying him 8.5, that's good. I'm happy. Assuming that he's reasonable defensively. 60 points for a defenseman is a massive number. Like how many defensemen got 60 points last year, right? I haven't checked, but
I think it was 11.
Yeah, I'd say to you is somewhere around maybe 10 in most years. So no. Listen, if he can repeat that season, then at $8.5 million, I think the Leafs have a good offensive minded defenseman and a points producer, and good contract. It's all in the, and he will get the chance at Toronto because they don't have anybody like him there. He's the guy, and that shot you can't take away like that. We always talk about Bouchard, and we kind of wish sometimes he'd use the shot more, but the shot's a valuable weapon. So I'm not telling you that I think the contract stinks. I'm just telling you where I see the risk. The risk is he's done it once, only once, so and at 30 years old, which is also late in your career to sort of tell me that I'm going to do it for 5 more years. I'm starting at 30. That doesn't happen very often. It might happen this time, but it doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, no, that is fair. The Edmonton Elks.
Yeah.
At home tomorrow. Unfortunately, it might be a little rainy. We'll see. But hey, they won in a monsoon in Ottawa. Like, it was really coming down in Ottawa. And they got Montreal. Montreal's best defensive players out. Beveret's out, so that's an advantage. For Edmonton, you know what? This is a game again, Spec. To me, it's not the must win like last weekend in Ottawa. They got off to a good start. You'd love to continue it, but I'm very interested to watch how they're going to handle Noel Thorpe and his defense, right? Can Cody Fajardo and the O-line pick up where the extra guy's coming from and then exploit that hole? Because really, I think that's if they're going to continue to blitz and bring that many guys regularly, Spec, you're going to leave some guys open, and then all it's up to Edmonton is to exploit it. Look at Toronto. Chad Kelly had 445 passing yards last week in that game. So they're, the week before, Bo Levi Mitchell, like Montreal's given up a ton of passing yards. I know you got Rankin, but Cody Fajardo, to me, this is a game where we'll see, can he make the right reads? Well,
Rankin is your solution to the blitz. To me, Rankin's your solution to the blitz. Right. Yeah. If you can, if a lot of plays become impromptu screen passes because they send 2 guys and there's people coming at Fajardo and he doesn't have any time, then the scheme has to include the outlet to Rankin and the ability to put it in his hands with space around him on a slippery field. Like that'll win you that. Handle that properly, and that can win you a ball game because it's going to mitigate. It could mitigate Thorpe's blitzing patterns. And again, Rankin's shown that on a sunny day, he's hard to catch. He's hard to tackle. He's very elusive. You put him on a slippery, wet field and you find him some space, right, to catch a ball and come down and have a couple of yards to kind of figure out where he's going and what he's doing. To me, that's how I mitigate a blitz anyway, is the best part about that offense, I would say to you, is likely Rankin at this moment. So let's not get away from allowing Rankin to get the ball in space with some time. To me, that'll take care of the blitz if you do it right.
Yeah. Going back to the NHL, Craig Button, if you were the Oilers, would you sign Alex Tuck?
I don't need to get older. And I don't need to. How old is Alex Tuck now? 31.
30.
He's 30.
Just turned 30.
He's going to want like a 5 or 6 year deal for sure.
Oh, probably
right?
7.
Maybe 7. Like, I don't necessarily need, and big money. I'm putting big money in a slower, older player. So I guess my answer to you is no. I would spend my money more wisely than that. Would you?
Yeah, it would be hard to convince me to pay a winger that much, to be honest. I wouldn't do it. So,
there you go.
I like Alex Tuck a lot. I just don't like him that much. And I'm curious to see, what the market is for Alex Tuck. I'm fascinated. A lot of people, he's going to get 10.5. And he might, because maybe it's a limited one. But he, to me, I think is a good player. He scored 30 goals in 3 of the last 4 seasons, 36, 22, 36, 33.
He can score.
Right? Like those are 4 years where, he jumped up a lot from previous years of production for him, which is great. So, that's good. There's not many guys who are 3-time 30-goal scorers in 3 of the last 4 years across the league. Yep. So, yeah, how long can he sustain it? Fair question. He's a highly competitive player. He's got lots of playoff experience, which I think is key for lots of teams. I don't know. I can't wrap my head around $10.5 million for Alex Tuch.
No, I can't either. And again, I think the Oilers have they've got a lot of older players in important positions. And, I know you're not supposed to be thinking to 3-4 years down the road when you're Edmonton. You're thinking of right this second and winning a cup right now. I get that. But I feel like, what do the Oilers need to do, Jason, to move on and become a better team? It's not scoring more goals. It's not scoring more goals. I think there needs to be a more subtle touch on this roster. They need players who are good players. I mean, everybody needs good players, but they need guys that can contribute to an effort to keep more pucks out of the net. They get enough goals. They got lots of goals. Yeah, you're probably going to lose Roslovic. Okay, well, I think it's probably time to see if Ike Howard could score some more goals. I would think Savoy's ready to have a full, better season. Like last year, he had a really good sort of second half. I like to see. I think Matt Savoy's ready to pop a little. I think Ike Howard's ready to pop, and I think you got to give those two guys a chance to pop. I don't think you need to spend the kind of money it's going to take to get Alex Tuch here and the kind of term. I just don't see it.
Yeah, and that is valid. Do you think a Darnell Nurse trade happens before the draft or after?
Well, I think everyone would like it to happen before. You like some solidity in your roster prior to a draft because you go to the draft trying to make more deals, frankly. When you're the Oilers, you don't have you don't have many draft picks. So if you're going to the draft for a reason, it's to find a deal here and a deal there. You'd love to get this one off your plate for sure. So I'll say before. What do you think? And to who are we're hearing more Pittsburgh now all the time. I kind of like Philly. What do you think?
I do believe that Nurse will be traded, I think, draft weekend. So, maybe beforehand, but because the Oilers, I don't think it's going to involve a draft pick really. Like, unless it's a pure salary dump, and I'm not sold that that's the best idea in a very shallow free agent defense market, right? So, I know people said, "Oh, it's Parker Wotherspoon." I'm like, yeah, okay, he's okay player, and can eat some minutes. He makes $1 million, so Pittsburgh's going to want to unload something else. They're not just taking out 9.25 for $1 million. Right. That's not how the NHL works. So,
I like a defenseman coming back. I like even if it's a third pairing guy, I'm fine with that.
Oh yeah, no, I think they need for sure, right? Like,
give me a third pairing left shot. Like, let's say you deal with LA and you take back Edmondson. I'm totally fine with taking back Edmondson. He led the team in penalty killing minutes last year. Let's say you do a deal with Philly and you take back Nick Seeler. That's fine with me. I'd like to see someone come and solidify the third pair. That's what I would like to see. You're trading a second pair defenseman. And I'm not telling you you're getting a legit one back. If you get a third pairing guy left side, I think you're starting to see the bones of your defense come together. Is that fair?
Yeah, no, that's fair. Like that's, Wotherspoon is a guy who could, he's probably a really good number 5. I is kind of how I see him. A little bit younger than Nurse. I think he's 28. So obviously not as big, right? Like that's the other thing. Like I like your Seeler one because Seeler brings a presence of physical. That you need some of it on your team. You can't have all puck mover. Oh, this guy, everybody moves the puck. Yeah, great. Now what happens when we got to separate the other team from the puck? Then what happens? Right. So
who's killing the penalties for you?
Exactly.
I don't mind, I don't mind Eddie. I don't mind Edmondson. He's an older player. I get it. He's played almost 82. He played 82 games last year and like 77 the year before. He appears to be past his back issues. If that's the case, and I have him, I think he's got a couple of years left. I can live with that. He's an avid, he plays a lot of PK minutes. Now the Kings PK wasn't very good, but he played the most minutes on it. So, I guess I'd have to talk to my scouts and see what he's got left, but that kind of player is fine with me.
Yeah. Edmondson, his foot speed to me, I'm a little leary of, right? Like,
that's why he's a third pairing guy. That's fair.
Yeah, no. So that would be, and like he's 3.8. Well, I just don't know if Nurse is going to LA. I think he sounds like he's going out east, right? That was where most of his teams on the list were. So, Philly one makes some sense. Philly now they've got Sanheim and they got Provorov, so they got some lefties, so they might not see how it necessarily fits to them. Pittsburgh, like Pittsburgh, I guess maybe they move on from Carlson, and who knows, but there's people that have texted me actually asking, hey, what do you think of Nurse? What do you which lots of teams will do that. Guys like, not a GM or anybody, but other people, kind of assistant GMs have asked. So
yep.
I know there's teams interested for sure. And I'm more interested in the return on what it could be. I don't think you should just give Nurse away. I don't believe that's good asset management for the team. At the same time, I'm not expecting him to land you like an elite player by any stretch either. So kind of somewhere in between, get a player who's a legit NHL player, proven, because the Oilers are still in win now mode spec, right? Like they're not, we freed up some money. Yeah. To spend on who? And then what other assets do you have to give up to get the guy with the bigger contract? That's the part about cap space that I don't really understand. For some people is I get it's nice if you can, save $1 million here or whatever, but we saved $7 million. Yeah. To spend on who? Right? Like if you're going to trade for another player, now you got to give up other assets to get said player.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, there are, the beauty or the good news for Edmonton is let's just say for the sake of this conversation, they trade Nurse. They don't have to retain anything, but they get nothing back of value, right? They get nothing back of value. You're basically trading them for futures and the whole cap hit's gone. So, sure. Now you got a bunch of cap space and you look at the free agent market and it's not great, but there are versions of the player we're talking about out there. Like Edmonton's not shopping for a top pairing D-man. Now you're shopping for a 4 or 5 D-man, and the other, I think you can find that guy. You can make that trade. You can find that guy and then you have cap space to do it. The last thing I'd say is having a couple million going into the season and saving it for the trade deadline when it's worth a whole bunch more would be a real luxury here, because we know players open up at the deadline that aren't open right now. You can't access players in June, but there's certainly you can access guys next March. And I'd say to you that the Oilers have a good enough team that with a tweak here and a tweak there, they can get to March just fine. Save a little cap space and do some shopping at the deadline wouldn't hurt this team at all.
Spec, have yourself a great weekend. Do the Elks remain undefeated?
Yeah, they're going to be the rain team this year, Jay. They're going to be the rain wizards. So a good soggy wet day is not good for the Turnstiles, but I think it's good for the Elks. They'll play a rainy game Saturday, win like 17-14, and that's going to be their story this year. They're going to be the bad weather Elks, man.
Okay. All right, buddy. Appreciate it. Have yourself a great weekend.
All right, you too, and everybody else out there.
There you go. That's Mark Speck for the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. We'll return. LT joins us, Soigne's World, and more before 6 o'clock. Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Attention Alberta construction pros. For over 50 years, Japa Equipment Rentals has been your go-to for top-notch equipment and stellar service. Whether you need rentals or expert maintenance, we've got you covered. Stop by our Edmonton or Calgary locations today.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass. Noodle, 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 noodle. Noodle, 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 noodle. Noodle, 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 noodle. Noodle, 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 noodle.
Troll will go down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need, Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
There's still time to book your tournament at the Ranch Golf and Country Club.
As one of Alberta's top tourney courses, the Ranch makes hosting fun and easy for any group or business. No matter how unique or unusual, they'll accommodate your vision for an event no one will soon forget.
Start planning your tournament today at their beautifully landscaped course on the outskirts of West Edmonton. On-site event coordinators are here to help, but hurry, availability is limited and booking fast.
Visit theranchgolf.com.
It's like a locker room, minus the smell.
Ew.
Kevin Carius brings the banter, the buzz, and the bold sports talk. Weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Sports 1440, Edmonton's home for sports.
Are you a skilled laborer? All-Star Construction wants to talk to you. A heavy equipment operator with track hoe or backhoe experience? All-Star Construction wants to talk to you, too. With work in and around Edmonton for local land developers, All-Star Construction offers year-round employment. Whether it's power, gas, or telecom, developers rely on All-Star Construction to get the job done. So if you're a skilled laborer or a heavy equipment operator with track hoe or backhoe experience searching for work, search All-Star Construction on Indeed.
That's right. You don't have to wait because Black Friday is back at the Brick. For 4 days only, you can shop incredible deals throughout the store. Get 60% off sofas when you buy the matching Love Seater chair. Save 25% off bedroom and dining furniture. And get up to 40% off select mattresses. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. Hurry in. These Black Friday deals end Monday. Shop in store or online at thebrick.com. The Brick, saving you more.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also, a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Lovely Friday. How you doing? The Scots are trying to tie Morocco. It's 1-0 midway through the second half. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. The Gregor Show always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Remember, if you do gamble or play the lottery, or instance, remember to use your game sense. Go to GameSenseAB.ca and stay within your limits. We got lots to discuss, and we'll continue on a little hockey and football as we get to the oil report brought to you by Go Auto. Cars, trucks, vans, SUVs, they got over 15,000 to choose from. And more importantly, though, they get back a ton in the community over the tune of $27.3 million at goauto.ca. As we are joined by the host of The Lowdown, noon to 2 weekdays, Sports 1440. Alan Mitchell joins us. LT, how you doing?
I'm very well. It's going to be a rainy weekend, but it's sports-wise, man. There's so much going on. It's going to be nuts.
Al, what's your thoughts on the green and gold taking on the undefeated in the regular season, Davis Alexander?
Well, you know, it's regression is a thing, and you know the dice have no memory. But sooner or later, there's got to be an L. And I think that the Elks organization, you know, if you go back and look at really the last 6 or 7 years, this is a really important time for them. They won their first game, had a bye week, and now it's a home opener. And I really think it's a statement game, and there's an urgency here. I wish they weren't playing the Alouettes, only that Montreal is really good. But then again, maybe it'll be a great test, and you know, they've got some really good players. So I think it's going to be a great game. I'll say that.
Yeah. I look at the Elks, and here's a big opportunity for them to kind of, you know, create a little bit of a statement game early on in the season. Say, hey, we're not the Elks of the past, right? The past is the past. We're moving forward, and even if they lose the game, but it's very competitive. To me, I thought Montreal last year really outclassed them in their games, and Edmonton didn't look like, you know, they were in there even close to them. This year, they have to make sure they look close.
Yeah, and sports is a game of big plays, and you know, you remember that 60-yard run by Rankin, and that's what gets people excited. Winning the game is great, but if it's a classic, if it's muddy and blood, and the offense is somehow find a way to make something happen, people will remember the game. And the Elks have game breakers, and that's what you want to see. So I think the devil's in the details here, and I think the Elks they're ready in a way that they haven't been in years.
LT, did any games spring to mind where the weather played a huge role that wasn't snow for the Elks? Because I think when we think about inclement weather for Elks games, it's like snow fest. Do you remember any other types of games?
I remember like a lot of mid to late 70s mud games. Like I have an old Terry Jones book, Decade of Excellence or something like that. And there's a Dave Fennell photo. And I mean, it's Dave Fennell, but he is just covered in mud and gook. And I remember I lived in Red Deer in the early 80s, and I'd come up and I'd want to watch Warren Moon. And those games were amazing because he could still throw a spiral through whatever the bloody blue blazes the weather was giving him. So I don't remember a specific game, but I remember those games for being, there's some brutal weather games. And the Eskimos at the time were just so highly skilled, it really didn't matter.
LT, and I got a good text in here asking, hey, guys, would you sign Alex Tucker, just sign Bobby McMahon, and even though he's going to cost way less, save the money there? And to me, it's about, they're both 30 years of age. Alex Tuck has scored, 36, 33, 36 goals, 22 goals, whereas McMahon did score 29 and 20 the last 2 years, kind of as a regular, a little bit, obviously much more of a late developer. Like, I would have a hard time wanting to give 10 sheets to Alex Tuck, a winger. I just don't think that'd be the best allocation of money for this Edmonton Oilers team. But do you have interest in Bobby McMahon at all if you're Edmonton?
I do, just because he's not an old 30, right? And late bloomer and all of that, to me, that in a way, that's really good because he doesn't have as many miles on him, maybe, as a guy like Tuck. And, power forwards don't age as well. They just don't, unless they're Billy Guerin. And so I'd say McMahon is more of interest to me because they're not going to be the same price, right? And so I don't know how I do think the Oilers are going to, grab one significant forward, and McMahon is certainly a guy who would be, I think he'd be a player they could use a little bit in a utility role. He can do more than one thing, and that's probably what Mike Babcock would want.
I mentioned earlier in the show that I really feel, the success of the Oilers next year is going to be much more on the shoulders of the GM than the head coach. The coach will come in great, but you got to give the coach some players, from goaltending to defense to forwards, Murphy, Dickinson, free agents, Darnell Nurse trade. What are you doing in goal? Like, all the heavy lifting here is going to be on the GM, not the coach.
Well, and I think it's important, you mentioned goaltending. I think it's important that if you look at Babcock's career, he's often had two goalies and he'll play both, like who's playing well. So I think it's important to give, two goalies who are a legit option for Babcock. And I also think, you add Murphy, but, maybe there's an opportunity to add another defenseman too. And maybe in the Nurse trade, the defenseman comes over, but you want to have some depth. You want to have NHL experience, and up front, I think Ike Howard can work really well on the third line. I think Nuge could play third line center. I think that's great, but if you add a guy like McMahon, that gives you like room to wheel. And we don't know how Babcock's system is going to be applied to all of the players. We know it's going to be more defensive. It's going to be more buttoned down, and suppression and puck possession is going to be a part of that. So it's probably a good idea to get some players, like Murphy. Dickinson is a great shutdown center, so he has all kinds of uses. Now, the problem is he's going to cost more than you want him to. But that's the decision that Bowman has to make. I think up front, the top two lines will have more than enough torque offensively. The third line might be a shutdown checking line, and maybe Dickinson's the guy. I don't know, but you're right. They need more than just one or two players here. They've got. I think they're going to have to get some experienced guys, even if it's even if it's guys who don't cost like $5 million, but have had some experience and played in the NHL and can be trusted.
Al Mitchell joins. Al, what'd you make of Canada yesterday against Qatar?
Well, I was shocked. I was not. I wanted that. Like, I think that if you watch the Canadian men for any length of time, goal scoring has been the tough thing for them. They're pretty stout defensively. They do a lot of good things. They have good pace. But I felt like, maybe they could just get 2 goals and the whole nation could relax and not be, as anxious. Well, they got like more than 2. And so, but it was almost like, I really felt like I was watching something that was borderline impossible. In soccer, scoring that many goals is extremely rare.
Yeah.
And part of it was Qatar didn't play well, but I'll give Canada credit. Maybe it was the adrenaline playing at home, but that's a game that I'll remember for quite some time.
Oh God, yes. The only unfortunate part was the Kone injury, which is brutal for them. The deeper you go in the tournament, I think that's where you're going to feel his absence even more. But overall, it was great for people who planned that trip and were in the building. That's a memorable game. Like, you might never see 6 goals at a World Cup for Canada again. Like, it's really hard to do. And to do it on home soil was, just rewarding, I would think, for the fans and obviously the players. And it should have them, like, not that they're going to sit back and be like, oh, we're great, but just there was some pressure. Hey, they haven't scored a lot of goals in big games lately. And I just think that will be a relief for lots of guys, Jonathan David and some others.
Yeah, exactly right. They're wheeling now. They feel confident, and confidence is a lot of sports, big part of sports. So right now, I think Canada feels pretty good about, they've gotten a draw, they've gotten a win. The goals will help them if it comes to that. So they're in a really good spot, and that was a big win for the nation, right? And I think it's all positive. No matter what comes out of the rest of this, and of course I say that, but you're always hoping for a really strong finish here in the pool. But I think it was a really a new plateau for the Canadian men, and I'm really looking forward to the next game, which is I think on Wednesday.
It is Wednesday at 1:00 Edmonton time is when they will take on Switzerland, and the winner will go to first. If it's a draw, Canada goes in first. And doesn't matter who loses to me, because these other teams are so the goal for differential is so massive.
Yeah.
You would have to lose by a lot, and one of them is going to have to win by a lot. And I don't see either one of those outcomes. Like, I don't see Canada or Switzerland beating the other by 3 goals, right? Like, I would be rather surprised if something like that occurred. So we'll see. Al, Elks, what happens on what's looking like, and we hope they're wrong, but a rainy Friday or Saturday afternoon.
Well, I think it's going to be like a really hard fought game. I think it's going to be. I'll say that it's lower scoring than people expect. Maybe like 17-14, something like that. And I'm going to pick the Elks because I'm cheering like, I'll admit, I'm cheering like hell for them. I love CFL football. It's been miserable the last few years in Edmonton.
Yeah.
And I think adrenaline does count for something, Jason. And I think those Elks players will have it.
Al, have yourself a fantastic weekend.
You too, sir. Be good.
There you go. That's Al Mitchell. We'll come back. Wanye's World. Also, we just got this from our title sponsor, PlayAlberta.ca. We got 2 gold tickets. Like sweet seats to go to the game tomorrow. So if you want to go, text in 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Make sure 100% that you can go to the game.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com. Our new McCafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more. Like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream. All swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. This deal is only good till 6 o'clock tonight. We need your credit card to hold the color. Hold the color. Summer package. Winter package. And the ever-famous re-PDI fee. I gotta pay you to rebuild the car? Does this sound familiar? At Northgate, we do things differently. We offer 0% financing, a great selection of new, pre-owned vehicles. So if you'd like to do business a different way, stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
The best way to experience Elks football is being there when it happens. From single game to flex packs, group tickets, and family packs, your seats, your way. Ticket packs available now at goelks.com/tickets. Edmonton Elks, our city, our year.
Jason Gregor isn't just a sports guy. He's a community builder. With over $3 million raised for local charities. And his Gregor Foundation, he's making a difference on and off the air. Check out Gregor weekday afternoons on Sports 1440.
The Lawnmower Hospital. Whatever the job, consider it done with the Lawnmower Hospital in Ego, the top-rated brand in cordless outdoor equipment. Their universal battery platform takes you from mower to trimmer into the mini bike with just one battery. They keep the party going with the Ego misting fan on those hot summer days, and then keep the party going with the Ego Bluetooth speaker at night. Check lawnmowerhosp.com now for stock and pricing.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, Jersey barriers, and aggregate. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned. Over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by CamTorque. Made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at camtorque.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Plaza Friday rolls along. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz, Declan Kruger. Get Dex Mike on here for the final segment. Do we get to Wanye's real quick? And then we're going to ask the D-man about the Elks. Wanye, what's up?
Well, I'll tell you this. A week ago, like you said, I didn't know anything about the World Cup. And a week in, the vibes are high. I've been watching the 9-minute games on YouTube.
Okay.
And I think if you're like new to soccer or like what you'd want to get away from the idea that soccer is a lot of transitional play, not a lot of shots on net, not a lot of scoring, rather than watching a full game for an hour and a half, if you're just getting into it, go to YouTube, take that time, and rather than watching one game, watch like 10 games highlights. They're awesome. And you're aware of like all the different storylines kind of going on throughout the games and stuff like that. I think it's a great way to watch the World Cup if you're just getting into it.
The 9 minutes is smart. It's like, Jay's in 30, and it's an opportunity to kind of understand. It's not going to give it. Now, I'm always leery that, there's there's all the studies on, quicker is better, and people like, the young generation, all they're doing is just scrolling and endless scrolling, and it's not good for you. But introduction, learning, yes, but I'd still say, okay, you know what? If I have a young kid, say, hey, you got to watch 20 minutes of a game to kind of appreciate it. Because it's also the 1 9-minute thing probably doesn't give you is the fan experience, right? Like to see just how loud it is and kind of that momentum as things build up, which is always key.
Who are, with the exception of the Canadian team, which is obviously everyone's favorites, who's impressed you in the last week?
Well, Germany's looks good, of course. Like who's impressed me? Morocco's pretty good. Like Morocco's good. Right? I guess I expected certain teams to be good, but Morocco, they're beating the Scots again today, and they gave Brazil Morocco is, I think pretty good. And I really, just from a pure entertainment game, the Czechia-Korea game was fantastic when I watched that.
Portugal had a draw. Spain had a draw. Kind of shocking. Who else kind of blew your mind? Any disappointments or results you couldn't fathom?
Not I guess I was surprised Spain had a draw in their first game, right? What about their goalie going from 46,000 followers to over 10 million?
Unreal.
Yeah, that is hopefully him and his country. If I'm his country, I'm hiring him now. Okay, we're going to pay you to post about our country so people know about us. This is the greatest way to give, hey, come visit us here. That's what I'd be doing. I got 10 million followers all of a sudden. I mean, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. That's what I'd be using it for.
Have you been watching the different European fans meeting America? It's pretty funny.
Well, yeah. It's funny for different things for sure, right? On what they, them on ribs is quite funny because they don't have ribs over there. But it's also, there are certain things where you talk to them and someone's like, oh, the food's better. I'm like, dude, I've been to Europe. Don't lie to me. Come on. It's not better.
Food's different. Have you seen the Scots in Boston? That was pretty funny.
Yeah, on the water and everything on the boats. Well, lots of Scottish people came to Boston, right? So it doesn't surprise me. The Irish and the Scots would love Boston.
Well, that's what I laughed about is I've been to Boston and it's a great sports town. The sports bars are always full.
Yeah.
But it's then their ancestors from the fatherland showed up, right? And they're like, you think you know how to be drunk guys watching sports? We invented it. And everyone in Boston's like, oh my goodness, look who just showed up. It's the Grandmaster OGs.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, very true.
I think it's cool to see all the different cultures mingling in though around the different cities in the States and stuff like that. I think it's a good experience for people to go through.
Yeah. Well, that's what sports can do that. I've said it for a long time. You'll see people where you kind of get behind something and it's like, all right, here we go. I like it. This is great. We're going to welcome in Declan Kruger. D-Man, what's your expectations for the Elks? Coming off a bye week, they're definitely fresher, but Montreal has a little bit more game experience, haven't played 2 games.
Yeah, it's tough. I feel like it's biased every time I open my mouth when I talk about the Elks, but I think they're going to win this one as well. I just think Tyrese Beverett not being in the game, and I know we've talked about Northorpe's defense as a whole, and they have some other real game-breaking players on there, but the thing about a player like him, a guy who's that mobile and a guy who plays as a linebacker, I've talked about this, if you have a guy, and they do actually have that guy in Kebion Ento, you generally speaking, you just don't throw to him. Now, Coach Killam in his media avail this morning said the ball's going to go where the ball's going to go, but generally with a player like that, you put your worst of your 5 starting receivers, your 6 starting receivers out there. You just don't throw the ball that way. If you have a really elite edge rusher, a la Matthew Betts out in BC, the stretch players are going to the other side of the field. But with a guy like Tyrese Beverett, he's so game-breaking and he flows, whether he's playing, the MAC or the will, whether he's taking that first step towards the run, whether he's dropping that zone responsibility, he's always going to be a guy who's involved in the play. So not having someone that good on the field, I know, we've had people talk about how good their defense is without him and how good the defensive structure is and other pieces. And I get all that, but I don't want to break it all down to one player, but I just think that guy not being there opens up so much across the middle of the field for this Elks offense. Because when I think of this Elks offense and success, I think of Justin Rankin getting a 5 or a 6 yard run on a first down. And I think of a crossing route or a 5 and in, 5 and out on second down. You move the chains, you keep the offense on the field, you keep Davis Alexander off the field. You don't let him, get into a rhythm offensively. You stay in a rhythm offensively with Cody and the guys there. And I just think the Elks have the keys to do that. So yeah, I like them to win. I know you said 29-21. It'd be pretty cool if that was the score back-to-back weeks. I'm not sure what Wanye's prediction was. I think Low Tides was 17-14, something like that. I'll say 28-24. Keep it chalk. Keep it kind of a boring game. Points will be at a premium. Few more red zone conversions, but I like the Elks to win. Maybe I'm biased, but that's what I see.
The Beverett is a big injury for sure. I'll be watching closely at the right guard position because Montreal, I talked to David Beard today a lot about, their new right guard and what Cam's going to bring to them. And, he's pretty confident. He goes, the guy's been catching them and everything, but Montreal disguises thing and does a lot of different things. And, they're going to try to get him off his game a little bit. I really think this game's going to be won or not on Cody Fajardo. And if he can go downfield when Montreal is blitzing and he can find the open guys to exploit, because they leave guys out on island a lot back there. And to me, that's That's what's going to have to come down to. I really like the Elks defense in Ottawa. I think it talked about as much, and but they had lots of turnovers. I don't expect that many turnovers. Alexander doesn't have a pick yet this year. Doesn't throw a ton of picks, but can they? They have to find a way to shut down Philpott and Snead because those guys have just been running rampant over everybody.
Yeah, and like you talk about the Cam Carter coming in there at the right gut. What Montreal does a lot is they stunt on their defensive line. And so for anyone who doesn't know, that's when the end and the tackle switch defensive responsibilities. And for like a new guard, there's actually a famous scene in The Blind Side for anyone who wants that as a reference. Michael Orr at like one of his first high school games, they stunt against him and he's just like, whoa, doesn't know what to do. So if you are coming in learning a new offense, obviously it's something you would have seen before playing football, but it's just something that when you're not used to seeing it in game time situations for however long, it can affect you a little bit. Montreal does it well. So that's something to watch for. As far as taking away the main guys, the Sneeds, the Philpotts, like Edmonton, I love their DBs. Like, I think this is the most talented DB core in the CFL, 1 through 5. But one thing I've always had a bit of a problem with is I think they play a little bit too much zone. And I think Davis is just such a guy who can exploit zone coverage. Like the talent there across, and I get it. Like zone is easier to play and it fits more defensive schemes and it fits more defensive structures. I get all that. And man, if when it looks bad, it looks really bad because it's a guy on an island and he gets beat. But I think the talent is there across the board to play that man coverage. I think when you have Kenny at the Sam, he can step into coverage and play extremely well as well. He did it a lot at Kansas when he was in university. I'd like to see more man coverage. Trust that my guy is going to be better than your guy, because I think, and those are some high profile receivers, don't get me wrong, in Philpott and Snead, but I think with the talent that's there, Terrell Ford on that wide side, Cordell Jackson on that short side half, like you should be favoring your matchups 9.9 times out of 10 against any personnel across from you. And I think that's what they should do in this game. I didn't wrap up that point well, but I hope you got it.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. I totally get it.
I got nervous.
Yeah. No, it's all good. It's all good. Coming up this weekend, busy, of course, World Cup fans. You got a lot of games, CFL fans. Hey, Elks, how about this? The Elks, if they find a way to win tomorrow, Hamilton's off to an early lead. No surprise with all the injuries to BC. It's already 14-3 Hamilton in the first quarter. Bo Levi Mitchell, 4 for 4 for 127 yards. And including, I think, a 56-yard touchdown to Myron Mitchell. So the Lions start 0-2 with all these injuries. Could the Elks be 2-0? Kind of bizarre world we live in. We'll have to see. Whatever you do this weekend, have fun. Please don't drink and drive. Don't weed and drive. Don't be inebriated. Please get home safe and enjoy the weekend. On behalf of Wanye, Halley, Kruger, I'm Gregor. Let's get to the Command of Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. At Fountain Tire, we're on the road together. From tires, wheels, oil changes, and automotive repairs. Go to fountaintire.com and they'll help you out. Good night.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
The World Cup rolling on earlier today. The States over Australia 2-0, and we're in the 90th minute. Morocco leading Scotland 1-0. Later tonight, Brazil, Haiti from the link in Pennsylvania, and then at 9 o'clock it is Turkey and Paraguay from Levi's Stadium. Major League Baseball, Jays, not a good one. They fell to the Cubbies 16-2 earlier today. Some games in action. White Sox Tigers had it 2 in the 5th. Yankees lead the Reds 4-0 in the 3rd. While the Nationals up on the Rays 2-0 in the 3rd. Later tonight, Padres, Rangers, Astros host the Guardians, Cards and Royals, Rockies get the Pirates, the Angels taking on the Athletics, Diamondbacks host the Twins, Mariners and Red Sox and the Dodgers host the Orioles. In the CFL, Bo Levi Mitchell continuing his great start of the season, 4 for 4, 127 yards, as the Tiger Cats lead the Lions 14-3. Elks in action tomorrow, taking on the Montreal Alouettes. Kickoff at 2. You also have the Argos and Red Blacks at 11, and at 5, the Stamps and Rough Riders. Day 2 action at the U.S. Open. Wyndham Clark atop the leaderboard at 7 under par. In second with 3 under par, you've got Matt Fitzpatrick, Santa Chopley, Sam Stevens, and Tom Kim. As for the Canadians, Corey Connors, the only one that will be playing over the weekend. He's +1. Siddharth Shanyam Raju and Nick Taylor +5, while Ben Silverman was 6 over par. That's going to do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Up next is Fox Sports Radio. Live local coverage resumes tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. for the Saturday Sports Setup, followed by Hoop City with Paul Sir. And we've got Blue Jays baseball on the AM feed at 12:20. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.